add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, rugby union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
Good morning. It is.
You know, we made the papers yesterday, just by the way, just to let you know.
What?
Somebody sent me it. I think it was in the Daily Record.
Yeah.
That we weren't ready to go at 6 o'clock. And they were taking the mickey at us, mate. How dare they?
Absolutely.
Scandalous.
Yeah. Well, we're ready to go today.
Always ready to go.
Yeah.
Always ready.
4 minutes past 6, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. What am I doing here on a Wednesday?
I know, I was going to say that. You did say
I turned up on the wrong day.
You've turned up the right day.
Wednesday, June the 3rd.
Yes.
Here now, may as well start.
You might as well carry on.
Yeah,
now.
might as well.
Might as well.
This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Buy a used car in their upgrade event. Get 2 years free servicing plus the chance to win the cost of it back. This June, what did you get up to the rest of yesterday?
You know,
been
so
busy
quiet.
doing something. No.
I'll tell you what I did. I did the bike. I went on the bike in the gym. Not been on a bike for a while. And I was quiet. I just kind of chilled and I walk all the way along the Thames. I normally go right, and I went right again, all the way along there, walked towards the city, good 4 or 5 miles, and then back. And then I did my bike.
But was that in the gym over the road?
Yeah, but
it should be a gym, but now it's just a cycle.
No,
oh, right.
There's a wee gym down the stairs now. They've moved it. You're absolutely right.
There?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there is, and it's That's pretty basic, but it's perfect. Got a bike, got a couple of running machines, some weights, and I went in there and I did an hour, and then that was it. And then I never slept last night, man.
No, neither did I.
Oh, and I normally get kept in the afternoon. I got a wee half hour, so if I fall asleep about 8:30, just kick on without me, will you, Bookie?
Yeah, no, well, I might be first to go, mate.
What did you get up to?
I had to go and have a couple of little health checks, and that everything was absolutely
Everything
fine.
good?
So, yeah. Flying at the moment, so yeah, everything good. So it was train back into Winchester and then train back up from Winchester. I mean, I'm on first name terms with all the guards now.
Oh, I know. How long is that?
Well, it's about an hour station to station, but it's getting to the station and the other end and things. But no, it's fine, absolutely fine. I had a good day, really. So, and this will be my last breakfast show for I think it'll July the 6th.
Is it really?
Yeah, because I've got a little bit of time off, and then during the World Cup, I'm going to be doing some different shows here, there, and everywhere. So so we better make the most of it, hadn't we?
Absolutely. There's no getting away from that, for sure.
I mean, first up, all the headlines this morning are about Liverpool and Donny Iraola on a new 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Is this a return to the sort of heavy metal football, do you think?
Well, he's certainly under pressure to do that, isn't he?
Yeah.
By all accounts. And I think he will. Interesting to see how things go there, because I think the fans and obviously everybody will be monitoring the situation and probably will be expecting a return to the heavy metal football. However, I just think that most of the fans will be hoping to get back to a better level and a better standard that they can watch, because they were disappointed, weren't they? Particularly last season. And it's going to be interesting, obviously, losing key players, like every club does, effectively, but really key players, Salah and Robertson, to name a couple. It's going to be a very interesting season for Liverpool, actually.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's going to be a massively demanding job for him, I think. And obviously, they've,
We mentioned yesterday, Jeff, he's really likeable as well.
Massively likeable. Everybody, I think, most football fans, will wish him well. They'll hope he'll do well. He's got a connection with Richard Hughes, of course. Look, if you want to be picky, and we've talked about it before, club of this size, demands success. His only trophy so far in his career is the Cypriot Super Cup.
Yeah.
So,
well, you did ask me something yesterday that kind of resonated with me. Should they have done it earlier and kind of maybe gone for Alonso? That'd have been an interesting one, wouldn't it?
It would.
I'll bet there's one or two Liverpool supporters asking that very question.
Yeah.
But listen, there's no way we can kind of prejudge things before, we see what happens. But it is an interesting one. What you'd have thought Alonso would have been the automatic replacement, wouldn't you?
I would have thought so. But look, Iraola's done nothing but impress
Correct.
on the South Coast.
Correct.
And amongst those impressed, Alan Pardew, who explained last night just what makes the Spanish manager so great.
One thing that was really, really good about Bournemouth this year, when they come up against the better sides, your Man Cities, your Arsenals and that, they had a real go. And that a real good kind of tactical go. I mean, it's all well and good kind of having a team that's, hyped up and ready for the game. But tactically, they found weaknesses in those top teams and played very well against them. And obviously had this unbeaten run towards the end. He's very much the favourite. I think there's no doubt about that. And the link you'll make with Hughes is absolutely correct.
Pat from Oxford said, I don't support Liverpool, but in my opinion, Iraola is one of the best coaches in the Premier League, as long as he gets the egos on board, and there are some big egos, he says, at Liverpool right now. With his philosophy of the game, he'll bring attractive winning football back to Anfield and success with it. And he talks about the creating camaraderie at the club as well. And I get that, probably more difficult at a big club like Liverpool rather than Bournemouth. And of course, he's in the hands, isn't he, of their transfer dealings. And I remember at Bournemouth him saying quite openly, he said, I'm just the coach. I don't buy the players. I just coach them. So I think, and that's probably useful, because I think that's going to be the case at Liverpool.
I know that, but I still find that's the old dinosaur in me, if you like. I find it remarkable. I do. I mean, I get it, and I get times move on, But I just find it remarkable in a day and age. I was always brought up with the manager, picking the players. And I'm still of the opinion that should be certainly part of the route and the way forward, because if effectively it's the manager's job that's on the line and not the person picking the players, I mean, that's the kind of strange one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd have thought automatically the man responsible for picking the players and using them would be responsible for the job, from his job, and live and die by it, if you like. So anyway, but that's the way it is. I think it's interesting. I think, as you say, Jeff, he's done an exceptional job at Bournemouth. They were great to watch. And you think of the players they're lost in terms of transfers, centre backs and Semenyo and 4 or 5. They moved on and they managed to keep a really strong side. But you're right about one thing: it's a different level of pressure on them now.
Yeah,
a club that's expected to be winning championships and winning cups.
I mean, Jamie Carragher's been talking on the overlap in the last couple of days, and he's raised some concerns about Iraola's appointment as well. He says it almost feels a year too early. I look at it and think, can I see this man winning the league for this club? And I get that point, but on the other hand, can you see Enzo Maresca winning the league? It is first season for Manchester City. You just don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Listen, it's our job to sit here and forecast and guess, and that's exactly what we're doing. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know. What we've all kind of opinion on, is, I still think it's an interesting decision when Alonso was available. And you can guarantee that if it doesn't work, and I hope it does, that's the one thing that Liverpool fans will be saying: why did we not go for Alonso when he was available?
Yeah. Yeah, again, I think we said it yesterday. I mean, it tells me that at Liverpool, the plan was to stick with Arne Slot.
Yeah.
And maybe they've told Alonso that, and that's why he's gone to Chelsea. Yeah. And then something has happened, maybe player power, whatever, which has meant they've changed tack and they've gone for Iraola. Look, he's a fantastic, I think, charismatic, charming man.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody, I'm sure, will wish him well next season. I'll tell you what he does do, though, is if Jamie Carragher's right, and it's a year too early, it does not bode well for Arsenal, doesn't it? Goodness.
Well, I was about to say the same thing. I mean, I think Arsenal will be interesting to see what happens, but we spoke about it yesterday, probably at great length. I don't think Arsenal will rest back and sit in their laurels. I think they will strengthen from a position of strength, which is what you should do. And I think they'll do it, Jeff. I think they'll go out. They'll particularly strengthen that left-hand side in the forward position, in the centre-forward position as well. Yeah. They're not going any weaker, Arsenal, that's for sure.
Liverpool fans, come and have your say this morning. 03717 223344 is the number. Is Iraola the right man for the long-term future? And what other changes need to happen at your club? Give us a call this morning. Ash, the Newcastle fan, says, good morning, Pinky and Perky. I thought with the long intro music, Alan Brazil was going to cut in. Either that or a Dean Saunders story was coming.
We saved you from both.
Yeah. Coming up, we'll turn our attention to the back pages. How damaging could Marco Silva leaving be for Fulham? We'll talk about that next.
On the England front, then, what do you make of the squad, and are you optimistic from looking at the 26?
I'm optimistic in terms of him maximising the potential to get to the latter stages, semi-finals, finals, possibly even winning. But the book is on whoever is the favourite should win. For me, France are the favourites. They're strong, technical, physical. They've got good balance between midfield, attack, defence. So for me, they're the favourites. But England can do well.
Yeah.
But what I would do, once again, very much like in club football, you talk about backing the manager. I can't have an opinion as to whether I think Cole Palmer and Phil Foden should have gone, because if the manager says the way I'm going to play is not going to suit them and I want to have Morgan Rogers or Elliot Anderson, I can't say to him he's wrong and he should have taken them. And that's what England fans have to do. Believe in the manager and trust, rather than we love Phil Foden, but if he's not going to play in a way to suit them, we can't then say they should have gone.
Yeah.
You know, so I trust Tuchel. The only thing I'll say about that is that I don't think English players are very powerful, as we've seen. And Gareth was a perfect man for that job, because Gareth, well, he's tough, but he will massage the egos and he won't shout and scream and take Harry Kane off if he needs taking off. He makes good decisions, whereas Tuchel is very combative. Now, will the players respond to that? If he then says, Bellingham, you're off, how are they going to respond to that type of thing? So as much as I think it's the right thing to do, are the English players responding to that kind of management? Which only time will tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good point.
So I said at the start, you've rewritten, the rap has been rewritten from.
Well, it's a bit of a. It was a bit of a play on words. They're not re-releasing it. It's not coming out. It's not going to go on Spotify. It's just for this Green King campaign. They're kind of, you got to go on the on Green King social stream and see it. So it's not a re-releasing of the song or anything like that. If not.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Ally McCoist is with me. I cannot believe this. Susie Quattro, Devilgate Drive. The sort of original rock chick.
Oh, you better believe I do.
Little blonde. Can the can. Little blonde. Black,
a little blonde.
black leather.
She was magic.
Played the guitar. No shy little retiring violet doing background vocals.
She was fantastic.
Wildcat. She was the first of her time.
I can remember walking on my television with Top of the Pops. What would it be? Mid-70s, yeah?
Yeah.
Mid-70s. And Devilgate Drive and Can the Can. I thought, this is fantastic.
Oh, man.
Probably, there you go. Here's one for you, Jeff. Probably my first kind of. What's the one I'm looking for here? Tread very carefully here. My first kind of heartthrob woman, female, pin-up.
She was for so many people, though.
Probably just prior to Crush is the word I'm looking for. Thank you very much, Ed. Yeah. Crush was the word. Just prior to Debbie Harry.
Wow. Yeah, but she definitely was. She was a one-off, first of her type. You know how old she is? 76 today.
On, Jeff. What are you doing?
76. Congratulations, Susie. And by the way,
many happy returns, Susie.
And she might be listening because she's lived in England for over 50 years now, even though she's American.
That's brilliant,
yeah, brilliant. Anyway, absolutely. Do you think you'll still be going when you're 76?
No chance, man. I listen.
It's only a couple of years, mate.
I'll be ecstatic. Listen, if I'm this side of the grass at 76, I'll be delighted.
Hey, be careful, because it is only a couple of years for some of us. You know, we're a few years anyway. So.
I know your thoughts. Very, very brave of you starting throwing stones here earlier this morning.
Stay tuned. After that, we'll be joined by Scottish rock icons, your big mates, Biffy
brilliant.
As well. Jake in Leeds says, fellas, do you not consider that maybe LFC didn't fancy Alonso? Another pragmatic, possession-based manager similar
That might
to
be the
Slot
case.
Stallion. Yeah, it's a good point, Jake. It's a good point. Iraola, more attacking, is maybe just what they are after. Okay, time for a quick coffee break and a look at the back pages with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT. Sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
And we have talkSPORT's very own Susie Quattro. Katie Shanahan with us. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
Good morning. That's brilliant, isn't it?
That is very good.
Do you know who we're talking about?
No.
See, that's the thing. I know. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to get up. No, it's a compliment.
Do I blag it and then I was like,
Dig a photo. Oh no.
That's
I'll be googling.
You're of a vintage. Just maybe you came around later after Susie.
Yeah, I don't think I was born.
You'll be happy with it. No, you'll be happy with it.
Yeah, is that your first crush? I feel as though you say this quite a few women. I remember you every time I'm like, hasn't he said that before?
Hold on a minute. What are you implying?
Yeah, be careful, because we Viv may be listening.
Exactly.
Just be very careful.
This is the time to talk about it, by the way. After 7.
After 7.
No, we don't go there.
No,
don't get anyone near there.
I don't know what Katie was talking about there.
Yes.
A few admirers, but that's fine, you know.
That's allowed.
Right, shall I save you here? Back pages. We're talking about Andoni Iraola. On the back page of the Mirror, for example, the headline being Iraola cops red job. Also on the back page of The Sun, Iraola cops 2-year deal as he's verbally agreed to become Liverpool's new head coach. Interesting here, just picking up on what you guys are talking about. The Athletic's James Pearce reports that Xabi Alonso wasn't viewed as a serious contender, with Chris Williams writing on X that he was ruled out in March due to demands for greater control over football operations than Liverpool were prepared to grant. So you would think that Andoni Iraola would be more willing to go in as a coach. It is perhaps notable that Alonso's job title at Chelsea is manager rather than head coach.
Yeah, and Iraola's always insisted he is a coach.
Yeah,
doesn't that smack of self-protectionism from some at Liverpool then?
That's my point. That's exactly what I said to you earlier on. 100%. Well, so whose fault is it? Is it the coach's fault if he can't get somebody else's players to blend and play? Clearly it will be.
Yeah.
Also across the number of the back pages this morning, guilty Saints boss, I'm sorry, as Tonda Eckert admitted he's responsible for everything that's happened with the Spygate scandal, but the club's owner insists he will not be sacked, so he will stay in charge.
It's just kind of split opinion.
Split opinion. We've been talking about it on my show earlier on about, where do you sit on second chances? It's going to be tough in the Championship. He's going to get so much abuse from the opposition fans in that dugout. I think it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah, I know.
Unless he keeps winning and then the results...
He's got to start. I mean, he's got to... Look, assuming that he's allowed to, because obviously he's still facing potential FA charges as well. Assuming he's allowed to, he's got to win the first 5 or 6 on the bounce for me, because we had text yesterday from one of our regular viewers, Pompey Adam, remember, who says, it's Portsmouth fan, obviously. He said, I'm going to set up a stall selling binoculars outside Fratton Park in time for the Southampton game. And that's going to happen everywhere.
Unless the EFL ban binoculars.
Yeah, which I don't think they'll do.
Yeah. I mean, it is... I was listening to Alan Pardew on this last night. He was really, really interesting on it. And he believes that, the manager's position is almost untenable, simply because of the atmosphere it's going to create around the club. And you do wonder as well if Southampton, whether they can hold on to the players who are there now, whether they will be resentful at what's happened. Yeah. And whether they can bring in new players, bearing in mind what's happened. And, of course, they've got a 4-point penalty, which is not ideal either.
Exactly.
Also, this story on the back page of The Sun, I want to be adored. World Cup and top player gong in Harry Kane's sights. A lot of people saying that he can win the Golden Boot at this World Cup. Yep. Obviously, we've got the Ballon d'Or coming up in September. Do you think Harry Kane has to be at the centre of anything if England are to have a good World Cup?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I do. It was an interesting one because the last Euros, he didn't look fit.
Miles off it.
Yeah.
He was, as Gabby would say, he was miles off.
Yeah, but it was carrying a niggle, wasn't it? for most of the
That's
tournament?
exactly the way he looked, Katie. He looked as though he's carrying an injury. He's maybe about 60, 70%. But listen, I think it's clearly obvious. He is arguably the best number 9 on the planet at this moment in time. England's goal scorer supreme. And I just think England will have a far better chance. I don't think England's problems are in forward areas right now. I think defensively it might catch them out. But for England to do well, yeah. But they have got backup now. The Ivan Toney one was an interesting one. Obviously, Ollie Watkins, who I think is very, very good. You know, I think those two guys have an opportunity to get more action than they would in normal circumstances. Because in an ideal world for Thomas Tuchel, I think particularly early on in the tournament, if he has any opportunity or can get any opportunity to give Kane rest, which he won't want, incidentally, because he'll want to be top scorer in the tournament, I think he'll take it.
The only thing I would say, and I completely agree, is England can't afford to finish second in the group. They have to win that group. If they finish second in the group, the chances are they're going to play Colombia. And look, we should expect England to win. You'd hope England win, but you wouldn't want that.
No.
You wouldn't want
Didn't
that.
they beat Colombia on penalties in Russia?
I was at that game. Yeah, I was at that game.
So it's not a game you want. You want to finish top of the group. You play a third place finisher in one of the other groups. That's what you want, which is probably why he's going to have to pick his strongest team right from the start.
Yeah. Winning penalty was scored that night by, unless I'm mistaken, ex-Spurs centre back. What do you call him? Help me out. Midfield centre back. Went to Bayern Munich. That's terrible.
We're all nice and quiet here.
That is absolutely terrible. And Eric Dyer. Thank you very
Eric
much.
Dyer.
Eric Dyer. There you go.
Took a while.
Yeah.
Just
I should
finally,
have known that answer actually coming into that statement there. Shouldn't have? That would have been quite a good idea.
just finally, Marco Silva leaving Fulham for Benfica. What do you think that means for Fulham? And are they going to struggle? Without him at the helm?
Well, it depends, but I'd be a little bit concerned if I was a Fulham fan this morning. I really, really would. Did a fantastic job. Listen, it's a great move for him, isn't it? To be honest, you clearly understand.
Could they, lure someone like Kieran McKenna from Ipswich over to Fulham? Can you see that happening?
Yeah, I think they could, yeah. But I think it's going to be a really, stating the obvious, a very, very important appointment. Because I think he's done a great job.
Oh, look, massively underrated for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at this. His win rate at Fulham is 44%.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
Andoni Iraola, by the way, at Bournemouth, 37%.
Wow.
I compared him with someone like Fabian Herzler, 43% at Brighton. But Silva never seems to be mentioned in the same breadth.
I'm with you.
As them. I think he's massively underrated. And I think, this could be trouble with the capital.
Why do you think he hasn't got the credit he deserves then?
I don't know. I mean, you look at maybe because they haven't made a sort of European breakthrough. They've often been on the fringes of it. 10th, 13th, 11th, last 3 seasons, knocking at the door, quite got there. But I think he's improved players. You've seen it time and time again, how he's improved players who've gone to the club.
You reminded me of an interesting start this morning as well. Regarding, was it Harry Wilson's contract you said was up?
Yeah, Harry Wilson's contract up.
Good player.
He'll be in demand. I mean, there's no question about that.
I read somewhere that, he wouldn't mind a move back up north. I don't know if he's a northern lad. Yeah. I saw it somewhere in one of his papers, I think so.
Well, a number of clubs will be interested, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, the other obvious, Kieran McKenna's obviously been touted a lot, but Thomas Frank is the other obvious replacement. Used to work along the road at Brentford, literally.
Met him at a good chat with Thomas Frank at the Villa final in Istanbul. He was doing a bit of either TV or radio. Had a good 5 minutes, 10 minutes. He was great. Absolutely lovely.
It's always great
man.
value, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely man. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how you can take a dislike to people that you've never met before? Brian's text says, great show as usual, Jeff and Coisty. Early game of golf here in Doha in Qatar. And Pete said in morning or listening to the show this morning in the sunny Maldives. Keep up the good work. Thanks, boys. We're not at all.
At least we've got a better morning than we had yesterday. Yesterday was diabolical. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Were you having a long line yesterday, man? I saw you yesterday.
I was actually on my way to St George's Park ahead of the Lionesses game. Against Spain. In Spain tomorrow. Well, Friday, but I leave for tomorrow.
Katie, should I say Susie, thank you very much indeed. That was thanks to our friends at Costa Express. Coming up, we cross to Miami. I mean, not literally, unfortunately. as England get their first training session underway and hear an exclusive interview with Jordan Henderson on what his role is at the World Cup. Stay with us.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT, sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
When you guys won it in '98, the double, did you evolve after that?
We knew
or
that
did you stay the same?
We wanted to play offensive football, you know, because for me, I totally agree with you, Simon. I will probably add something, you know, that for me is very important. You cannot play next season the same way because I think the pressure will be high, you know, in the medias, but as well from the fans, even from the Arsenal fans. Everybody is very happy and very proud of winning the Premier League this season. But we are a little bit frustrated in terms of the way they play. So for me, the most important, except the fans and the press, is the players. Do you think the players are very happy to play the way they did? Even thinking that they were leading the score against Paris Saint-Germain, even thinking that Paris Saint-Germain is the best team in the world, that there is no shame to defend against this team because they are such good players, you know. But do you think that Arsenal, the players, will be happy to do exactly the same thing next season? You have to enjoy what you're doing on the pitch. This is the best way of winning things.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, something's going to break, you know, into the team.
Would you have enjoyed playing like Arsenal play?
This way?
Yeah.
If I won the Champions League, of course. But they didn't. They won the Premier League, so they have something in their mind thinking, we did what we had to do to win the Premier League. But are you happy the way they will say, yeah, very proud of defending, but in the meantime, Arsenal is not this. Arsenal is something different.
Yeah.
It's not often you associate fan power with Chelsea Football Club, but one of the shining examples of it lies with a group called the Chelsea Pitch Owners. And they've proved to be the thorn in the side of owners past and present who've been dead set on moving stadiums to a larger, more lucrative piece of land. Essentially, the supporters group holds the freehold to the land on which Stamford Bridge sits. Former owner Ken Bates set it up at a time where some unruly property developers tried to evict the club from their ground. In order to prevent this, he established the CPO as a company that owned the pitch and offered the fans the chance to buy a share for £100. As well as that, they also own the rights to the name Chelsea Football Club, so if any owner wants to take them elsewhere, they can't be called Chelsea without the approval from the CPO. Now, in 2011, Roman Abramovich tried and failed to move them away from Stamford Bridge, and this has set a precedent for Todd Bowley and the current power brokers at Chelsea. They know any plan which involves moving from Stamford Bridge will require CPO approval from the now 13,000 fans who own it. There are fans who are concerned that if they stay at the bridge, they'll be left behind their domestic and European rivals who are moving to more commercially successful stadiums. But for the heritage and history lovers, Stamford Bridge is one of the iconic English stadiums, and to move away would be a grave mistake. It might not be as flashy as others, but stadiums like it have something about them that cannot be replaced. One thing's for sure, if Bowley wants to take Chelsea away from their home, he'll have to go through the CPO first.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ali McCoist and Arnold Clark. We're celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June. You'll be entered into their weekly draw to win the cost of it back. Did I tell you we've got we've got a bee's hive within our garage wall at the moment at home, which we're really pleased about because I love bees.
I do too. The working bees, not bumblebees.
I don't know what they are.
Well, bumblebees.
How do you tell whether they're working? I mean, I haven't been able to check.
Generally,
do they have working boots and a pickaxe?
Generally speaking, excuse me, Jeff. Generally speaking, they are of a working nature, the bee. But the bumblebee, as the name, the bumblebee. You know, we've opened a can of worms here. People will be. Bumblebees are the big.
We've opened a hive of bees.
The working bees are the small ones, the same kind of shape as a wasp. Right?
Oh, no. Yeah,
they're working bees.
They're bigger than wasps. These fellas who they go into a tiny little hole.
They're amazing
in the wall of the.
They're
garage,
amazing. I love them. I love them.
They're quite endangered, aren't they, these days? Bees.
Yeah. Protected.
Species,
They're protected. I tell you what, I don't like wasps.
Oh,
I was playing 2 years ago. I was playing in the garden with a wee man, the boys actually, and I was my ball 2 years ago. He was younger, and the ball went into the bushes in the back, right? So the wee man went to get it. He came out. He went, "Oh, I'm not getting in there." I said, "What are you talking about, not getting in?" He said that there's a noise. It's just a funny noise. Right, and sure enough, I went in the bushes, right, and I looked up above me, and there was a wasp's nest, right?
Mm.
And by the way, the ball had bounced obviously near it. Bandits came out and attacked me, right? I swear to God, Jeff, I must have been stung about 10, 12 times, honestly, right? So I ran in, and then I went down to the wee shop, whatever it was, and there's a foam you can buy, right? So I went out, get it a couple of hours, I went out in the wasp's nest, and you spray it with the foam, and it just disintegrates. You know, you get it out, get it away. And I've had one in the garage before as well. Not a fan of wasps.
No.
Not a fan of wasps.
I've never met anybody who likes wasps.
Yeah.
Never. But a very different kettle of fish.
And by the way, while I'm on it, I'm going to tell you why I'm on it. See, in France, they've got a thing called a frelon, right? And they eat the wasps.
What?
I'm telling you, I've seen it with my own eyes. It's ridiculous. These.
I know they eat snails and frogs' legs.
No,
but not wasps.
No, the frelons eat the wasps. Oh.
I thought this was a French delicacy that I hadn't seen on MasterChef.
These frelons are like a massive wasp, and they actually attack and eat the wasps. They're horrible things. Frelon. Look it up. Not good.
No. All right. Okay. Apologies to any French listeners, by the way, that I assumed that he was talking. Well, you never know.
Well, you want me just a bit of salad, do that?
Yeah, you'd be buzzing after it. Shall we move on?
Yes, swiftly.
England are safe and sound in Florida ahead of their first World Cup warm-up friendly against New Zealand. As our England reporters, Faye Carruthers and Henry Winter. Let's cross there now and get a flavour of the surroundings.
Oh, dear. Thanks, Jeff. Welcome to West Palm Beach, about an hour and a half north of Miami. I know that the pair of you are going to be so jealous of what me and Henry Winter have been having the last couple of days. It's gorgeous weather out here. Bit too hot, I have to say, but there is aircon involved. But this is where the England team are training for the next 10 days ahead of the Florida series. We've watched them train. It's very sweaty out there, Henry.
But this is what I imagine Ali's garden to be like. Lots of really classy cars, beautiful lawn, bit of a golf course, pickleball, nice bar and reception in that lovely house over there. So, yeah, home from home for Ali, this will be.
Well, we need an invite in that case, if that's what it's like, because it is fantastic. And this is where the players are going to be ahead of the Florida series. They have Costa Rica as their final game before they head off to Kansas. They play New Zealand first and foremost, and that's what they're building up to. Well, Henry, we'll be talking to you a lot over the next few days. I think we need some aircon.
Definitely.
See you later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks very much indeed, Faye and Henry. We started something here.
I told you we would.
We have started.
I knew we would.
Josh says frelon is a hornet in France.
Yeah.
That's just what you said. And Tom, the Forest fan, says, Jeff, sounds like you've got masonry bees. I've never heard of a
Neither have I.
bee.
But they sound as though they're working.
Yeah.
Just
well, I've got a few jobs that do around the house, believe you me.
Just for the nature of the name.
Yeah. Right. Jill says, Ali, bees are honeybees and wild bees. Wild bees are solitary, which means they don't have a colony, which is why we need wildflowers. Bees are responsible for pollinating a third of the food that we eat. It says the gold that we eat, which has got to be wrong, Jill. I don't eat gold.
We love bees. We do. We love bees. Yeah. I used to catch them in my hand. The ones with the yellow nose, they wouldn't sting you. I got it wrong once, never did again.
Pompey Adams says, a bumblebee replacing Winston. While I love bees, I can't help thinking this is a woke decision again. And by the way, Adam says as well, it's a national institution. I'm surprised Consti hasn't made an appearance on the Scottish pound. Brilliant. Right, look, we better move on because we're meant to be talking about football here, aren't we? Enough of bees and England. Let's have a bit of this.
We know we ain't no Argentina, but we got John again, and Robbo.
Sam from Stockport. I went out with a group of French friends and we had wasp and chips. No, you didn't, Sam. No, you didn't. Don't be silly now. Okay, Scotland are also in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, actually, to be precise. They have a friendly against Bolivia on Saturday. Let's bring in talkSPORT Scottish football correspondent David Tanner. Morning, David.
Morning, David. How are you?
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Alistair.
I guess as far as Scotland's point of view is concerned now, you know, they want to get through the Bolivia game with no more injuries.
Man.
I mean, poor Billy Gilmore.
Couldn't believe it, David, man. Absolutely distraught for the wee man.
Well, Billy Gilmore is exactly the same, fellas. He issued a statement yesterday saying that his childhood dream had been shattered by the injury to his knee he suffered at the weekend. It didn't seem to be much contact. There was a tackling on him, and he sat on his backside, didn't get up, and he had the look of a man that we've seen it many times before over the years, but he had the look of a man who knew he was down and he knew he was in trouble. And to see him being helped off the pitch and then off to a scan in Glasgow Hospital on Saturday night was just a dreadful, dreadful sight. So that's a real kick in the teeth for the Scotland squad. Let's be no doubt about that. Billy Gilmore's been terrific for Scotland. And the same thing happened 2 years ago at the Euros when Lyndon Dykes injured his cruciate in the final training session before the big kickoff. So Steve Clarke's called in Tyler Fletcher.
What did you think of that, David? What did you think of Tyler Fletcher? Because a lot of people, probably myself included, I know Conor Barn was there and Andy Irvine, but I thought Lennon Miller at Udinese might have got a shout actually, but no.
I thought so too. Playing Serie A, you would think would give him some sort of advantage, but I suppose he's a different type of player from young Billy. A proper midfielder is how Steve Clarke described Tyler Fletcher yesterday. But 19 minutes this season for Manchester United. The one thing I'll say about his father, I remember him coming into the Scotland team, as you will as well. He was an adult at the age of 18 when he came into the team. And if he's anything like his dad, he'll be ready for this one.
First up, of course, Haiti. Now, look, I have a theory. It goes in football right throughout the globe, really. Newly promoted sides, you don't want to play first up. And I get the sort of same feeling with Haiti. First time in the World Cup since 1974. They're going to be so up for that game. But does everybody in Scotland perceive it as a match that they simply have to win?
In a word, yes. There's no doubt about it. It's the lowest ranked team in the group, and Scotland, therefore, need to take care of business. The one thing that Scotland have never done before is win their opening game in the World Cup. So, and done well. So that's, I think, a big one. It reminds me, Ali, a little bit of Costa Rica, who'd never been to the World Cup before, totally unfancied, written off by everybody in Scotland. And in 1990, Scotland got off to the worst possible start with a fella called Cayasso. Stuck one past Jim Leighton. And, that really had Scotland in the back foot in 1990 after that.
I think it's important you go off to a good start. We mentioned it, stating the obvious. I think you win your opening game, it sets you up, David. And I think you're right. I think the kind of nation expects... we won't, after some of the disasters that we have had, particularly Costa Rica, and we'll have had others, as you're probably well aware. But I just think Stevie's focus on the opening game, if you can get 3 points, I mean, it's in many ways, you look at it, it's actually harder not to qualify nowadays because with the three teams going through. But I think it's a must-win game for us, mate.
And they need to have a go, Jeff. That's the one thing they need to have a go, because Steve had the handbrakes on in the last couple of Euros, the game against Hungary, which if Scotland had won in Stuttgart. I was at the game. If they'd won that game, would have been through. He was overly cautious. He has said he's learned from that lesson, but of course, when the chips are down, managers and under stress, they can do strange things. But if they win that one, Jeff, they can rewrite history, because the first game's always been a problem for Scotland. Yeah. Remember Argentina 1978. So if they get that one right, then we can start dreaming of winning it.
Was that Peru? Cubias.
It was Peru.
Oh,
absolutely.
We've done hell after that. Was it Iran? One each.
A draw with Iran. Don Masson missed a penalty day and has never been back to Hampden Park.
He did. Quick one. So, who are you starting through the middle? It's got to be Lawrence Shankland, hasn't it, the form he's in?
I think so. I think particularly for the Haiti game, I would definitely get Lawrence Shankland in. The big question, though, is does he play two up? Does he need somebody alongside him, Ali? Because a lot of players, Kenny Miller, for example, who played one up for Scotland for years, always said one up doesn't work.
Yeah.
What do you think with that?
David, it's a question that's going to remain unanswered, okay, because we haven't got time. But thank you very much indeed, mate.
David, if this was an England piece, it would go on for another 20 minutes, mate.
Well, I will say, talkSPORT will bring you live updates of Scotland's friendly against Bolivia this Saturday at 9. You can find out then whether Steve Clarke plays one up or two up, okay? The same time as England against New Zealand, which is live on talkSPORT. Don't forget, we're giving you the chance to win a trip to the 2016 FIFA World Cup, courtesy of Adidas. You and a mate could be in New York on June 27, seeing England against Panama live. We've got flights, hotels, spending money, match tickets, and the official tree on the match ball all covered. Head to talksportwin.com to enter, and for full T's and C's now. And I just have to mention very quickly, because Trevor the Truckler's mentioned this, and so has Steve. 70s rockers were great, but my crushes were Kim Wilde and Susanna Hoffs. Now you're talking. Remember Susanna Hoffs?
They don't tell me the old female band, American.
Bangles. Eternal Flame.
Yeah, she was great. Yeah.
This could get us into real trouble during the course.
Was that Walk Like an Egyptian?
Yeah, the Bangles.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Was that? Was that?
I think
it was. We got a lot more stuff about bees as well, but we'll save that for a while. Coming up, we'll hear the best bits from our interview yesterday with the West Ham legend Mikel Antonio on just how disappointed he was with the way the club finally dealt with him.
Right now, what he's complaining about, or saying he's suffering from, is a section of the fans having a go. Now, I don't know why they're doing it, and it might just simply be because he's the best player in the world, and it might simply be that it goes with the territory, and it might also be because he is a little bit cocky, and it might be that. And if he wants to exude that personality, which I don't know if he does or doesn't, you go with the territory. He is young. I accept that. And I accept that it comes with a degree of experience that can say, let it go over your head.
But it's quite sad, though, when he says the reception he got in Rotterdam, because he was playing the Dutchman Van Veen, was the worst I have experienced. But his mindset going forward was, I'll just expect the worst. I mean, that is quite sad for a 19-year-old.
Well, what does he want? Okay, what does he want then? Unadulterated love?
How about the crowd behaving themselves?
But that's not, you can't control the crowd. You can't control the way that people react to you.
I mean, we all hear the darts is fun, and they all get into all their fancy dressing of it. It's fun, it's a laugh, it's wonderful being there. How about also reining it in
for the purpose of this conversation, we could say that across a variety of sports, couldn't we? For the purpose of this conversation, is there any reason, in your mind's eye, whilst you're advancing the case of great sympathy for him, is there any reason why the crowd have gone against him?
Well, because of his altercation that he's had with Van Veen.
Okay.
And he's in Van Veen's territory in Rotterdam.
So he's a big boy that can take the mickey out of these opponents by giving it they're crybabies.
It might well be about his appearance as well.
Well,
and you're having a laugh.
Right, so I'm the poster boy for that then, am I? But the fact of the matter is I'm just telling the truth. I would like to see a young man in his pomp.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me this morning. We're talking bees, wasps, crushers, and if we can squeeze any sport in, we'll do that as well. Neil in Warrington says, I ate hornets/wasps at a meal in China once. They'd removed the stinger and stir-fried them in black bean sauce. Neil, what number was that on the menu? I mean, seriously.
4,011. Yeah. What about that one in from Dan's a belter. Dan's great.
Brilliant.
Dan's a Villa fan. 31-year-old Villa fan. And he says, forget all the nonsense. He says, my crush is simply John McGinn. Me too, mate.
And Hannah's texted in and said, you guys always put a smile on my face. Listen to the breakfast show and drive every day. It's helped me very much in what's been a bit of a tricky time recently. Bit controversial, as I'm a huge England fan, but I love the No Scotland, No Party song. Hannah, you are absolutely spot on.
Yep.
Headlines this Wednesday morning. Liverpool have reached a verbal agreement with Andoni Iraola to make him their new head coach. Man United have agreed a £35 million with Atalanta for the Brazilian midfielder Ederson. And Ghana faced Wales last night in Cardiff. talkSPORT's Lawrence Mora was there to find out what England can expect in their group game.
Wales won, Ghana won. Lewis Kumas, son of Jason Kumas, has got his first ever Wales goal in his 11th cap. Really good header as well. Nico Williams showing a lot of quality. Probably Wales' standout player this evening. It was a good old battle. Any England fans watching this will know that Ghana are going to give them a game in this World Cup. A big athletic side, they can play a bit too. They left Antoine Semenyo on the bench this evening, but plenty there for England and Thomas Tuchel to think about. And if the fans are anything to go by, then it is going to be a heck of an atmosphere out in the USA.
Yeah, I mean, Wales needed a late equaliser, but I can't really be having Ghana as too much of a threat to England. I mean, obviously a little English when I'm saying that, but...
No, I know. Listen,
they're not the strongest of the African nations.
I wouldn't have thought so. But at the same time, I don't think for a minute we're taking them lightly. You would think Croatia would be your biggest rivals in that.
Yeah, although they lost yesterday, didn't they, in the friendly as well, yeah.
But it's a funny, I don't, and I'm sure you don't too. I mean, the friendlies and the build-up to a tournament, I don't look, they're just... Results don't, I think, are very much immaterial.
No, absolutely. You can't read too much into them. Now, on the breakfast show yesterday, we were joined in the studio by West Ham's record Premier League goal scorer Mikel Antonio. He really was, really liked him. We asked him about his departure from West Ham, which came shortly after his car accident.
I was playing there for 10 years straight. Every single year, I was a starter for the team. And many times they tried to replace me, get other new people in, and I always end up playing. I started on the game before my car crash, and I was starting on the Monday when obviously I had the crash on the Saturday. So I was surprised that for someone who's highly involved and someone who's been playing for 10 years at the club, that they didn't offer me something, even though I had interest before my car crash, and they said I wasn't really for sale. So I I was surprised to be released in the summer, and the fact that they waited until May to tell me that they were going to release me as well was a surprising fact.
I mean, obviously, he was bitterly disappointed by that. He was determined, though, that the car crash wasn't going to define him and end his career. So he went off to Qatar, got a little bit of football there before, obviously, there were developments on the world front. And still looking to get back into the game in this country. Would somebody take a punt, do you think?
I think they would, yeah. I mean, obviously, listening to him, he's very focused. I thought he looked really well, as you'd probably expect. I thought he was in great nick. But it was interesting. I mean, I think he's keeping his options open as he should. But he's really keen on the presenting side. He made that point, didn't he? The presenting side of television. And it's something that I think he's going to set his heart on once his career finishes. But looking at him and listening to him, yeah, I think there's still more football in him.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily guess it from the way he plays the game, because he was, foot flat to the floor all the time, wasn't he? Smile on his face. He's a deep thinker about things, not just in football but in life as well, and the way that players are treated. Yeah. And
I haven't read the book. You have.
Yeah,
I've got it.
It's an interesting.
I've got
book.
and I will. I'll read it. I'm just finishing another couple of books, so I will. But I'll definitely read it.
Yeah. And when that Jack and Jill book, when he finished that, just move on to the.
I've not finished it. I've run out of colouring pens. I'll need to get some.
Yeah, but I mean, West Ham fans now must look at Mikel Antonio and think, my goodness, how much we miss somebody like him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was brilliant for them, honestly.
Yeah.
Defender's nightmare to play against. Really would. But as you say as well, and I think it is important, always played with a smile on his face.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we wish him well. It was great to have him in the studio.
It certainly was.
Right, still to come on Breakfast Today.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Manage your Travis Perkins trade account online at travisperkins.co.uk or via the Travis Perkins app.
The managerial merry-go-round's in full swing. Andoni Iraola's agreed the deal to become Liverpool manager. Give us a call this morning. 03717 223344. Liverpool fans, are you confident Iraola is the right man to take you forward? And what other changes do you need to make this summer? How much money do you need to spend? Marco Silva's left Fulham. Former cottager Moritz Volz will have his say after 7 a.m. this morning. Of course, Crystal Palace is still looking for a new manager as well. That was our breakfast preview with our friends at Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
In the penalty shootout, Emmanuel, it struck me to ask you, were you surprised that Gabriel
a little bit
stepped up?
Yeah, I was surprised because I saw, for example, one player. I don't want to blame them. I don't want to point finger at them. But when I see Zubimendi, he's a European champion. He's got character and personality, and the guy just came into the game. He's fresh, mentally and physically. You know what it means to take a penalty at the end of the season like that. It's so hot, so many players were having cramp, during the game. So it was an exhausting season for both teams. And all of a sudden, this guy came into at the end of the game. He's fresh. He didn't take. You see the central defender. This is not typical for central defender to take a penalty shot.
Yeah. The other penalty you were not happy with was Eze's penalty. I know we don't want to hammer the guy, but
football is already difficult, so make it simple. I don't understand why all those guys, is it fashionable? I have no idea. But, I'm very annoyed every time I see someone trying to make a stick, before kicking the ball. He stopped the run and then all of a sudden do something. Why don't you do a push-up before you take your change? I mean, yeah.
Football fans all have stadiums we love, but do any of us have a pitch that we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules? Back when association football started, pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs had been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest Pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park. And don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards. So do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows. But as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Ally McCoist, and Arnold Clark. Buy a used car in their upgrade event and get 2 years free servicing, plus a chance to win the cost of it back this June. Thomas from North Berwick says, morning guys, my daughter's been in hospital the last 5 days, and while scrolling through the TV, I could not believe that Jeff was on Celebrity Catchphrase and was laughing and joking. It shocked me also.
Oh, bad rap you're getting here.
I know. You think I was a misery or somehow? I was a misery.
Grossly unfair.
Thomas says, I think he was gutted he didn't make the final, but he did well. Right, Thomas, I was so far ahead. ahead. And then I had a bad run. You know, it's like being top of the Premier League and losing your last 10 games. That was what it was like, you know.
But,
anyway.
And I bet you look back, I thought, I should have got that one. I watched the boy I love the chase. Have you been on the chase?
No.
Bradley? I fancy that, man. I love the chase.
No, Brad listens, he'd get you on.
I love wee Bradley, man. He's different class. There was a boy on yesterday, man. He was tremendous. 10 in a row. Bang, bang, bang. 10.
Yeah.
But superb.
I'll tell you what, if you've got any questions about Hornets on the chase, you'd be okay. Because Everton Dan says, now then, he said, German wasps are the most volatile, more volatile than British wasps. Hornets, despite their size, are docile. And I thought, I don't believe that. But I just Googled it. Hornets, it says, are surprisingly docile. It said, despite their intimidating side and fearsome reputation, they are generally shy and far less aggressive than wasps. And would you believe it, male hornets are entirely docile. They can't even sting you. They do not possess stingers.
Well, there you are. I told you I used to catch the bees with a yellow nose. They didn't sting either. But obviously the hornet is not the Frelon. This one has been backed up. A couple of the guys have been on. These are dangerous, horrible things that eat. But 3 times the size of a wasp. I've seen it in action. It eats a wasp. Not nice.
I feel guilty because those docile hornets, I've probably squished a few of them with newspapers over the years.
I know.
And they weren't posing any sort of threat to me. Goodness me.
I know. I feel
look,
bad.
the wasp and bee chat, by the way, is just because I've got a sort of bee's nest in my garage.
And I tell you, are you going to leave it?
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah. We love
you know the one, the guy walked into the pet shop? Right, you know that one, don't you? Walked into the pet shop, he said, I want to buy a wasp. He says, what are you talking about? You want to buy? We don't sell wasps. He says, you do, you get one in the window.
Oh, yeah, very funny. Yeah. I mean, look,
this boy shaking their head through there.
Yeah, we are so soft. My wife, and look, this might be a thing. I trust her. I believe her. She put out one of the bees wasn't looking too well. Now, how you can tell it wasn't looking too well? Got no idea.
What, did I have a bandage on her?
But she put a little saucer of sugared water near the entrance to their nest because apparently sugared water revives them and energizes them. So, seriously, the Stelling household is a very strange household. Believe you.
I'm not going to tell me the following day it arrived back at the nest at 211 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, when it came back, it was doing weights. It'll be there for another 2 years at least. Right, it is all changed in the Anfield dugout.
The Premier League title is coming back to Anfield after a 5-year absence.
Arne Slot, the jobs he's done so far, it's been absolutely terrific.
I mean, Jurgen Klopp, he had enough and he said, look, this is it, I'm going to have a little break now. But the squad of players all stayed the same. It's all about getting the manager coming in, just tweaking a few little bits and bits. He didn't have to do a lot, did he?
Isak is on and Rio Engamoa is coming off. That is about as popular as a Man United fan sitting next to someone in the Kop.
By far the hardest season I've managed, and that's why to a certain extent today I'm quite happy with the fact that we've qualified for Champions League.
Some breaking news, Arne Slot has been sacked. We understand Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola is the front runner to replace the Dutchman.
What I will say is when you look at the way Bournemouth play, it resembles the way Klopp used to play.
Yeah, Liverpool reaching a verbal agreement with Andoni Iraola to take over as head coach. Following the parting of the ways with Arne Slot. The two bosses met 4 times, by the way. Slot won 3 of them, Iraola once. But Bournemouth finished last season 18 league games unbeaten. And, of course, they're in a European place as well for the first time ever. 03717 223344. Let's head to the phone lines and speak to a Liverpool fan. It's Scott. Morning, Scott.
Morning, Scott.
Morning, gentlemen. How are we? Is okay?
We're fine, Scott. How about yourself,
What do you think about Iraola, then?
Yeah, do you know what, Jeff? Ali, like anything, when someone takes over at Liverpool, you welcome them with open arms for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I think we definitely need to get back to a base where manager rules. One of the things on Liverpool fans is, we've always tried to worship our managers and stuff in relation that they're the number one. I think there's a couple of things for me in relation to where we are, and I know about us obviously talk about his backroom staff coming with him. But I think, in all seriousness, for some of the stuff you've been hearing, which much had a little bit about it, because I do think a couple of our players need pulling in and need reining in. I would just desperately try and get someone like James Milner back in there, just to support in relation to some of the standard side of things. And that'll give him an even better head start, in my opinion. And I know they always want their own people, but I just think with him retiring, something like that needs to probably happen at Liverpool. Because I just think we've got the quality there, but I definitely think one or two have got a little bit too big for the boots as well, which probably hasn't helped the manager along the way. The previous manager, I should say.
It's amazing that, Scott, because effectively I don't know, right? But I actually agree with you. It kind of looks that way. There was a kind of air maybe about that dressing room, which, you know, I couldn't get my head round, and I think you make a valid point, but the bottom line is I don't know, but it certainly looked that way. What about the actual appointment itself? Were you a little bit surprised regarding Alonso, Scott?
Do you know what, I'll be honest with you, Ali, right? I genuinely thought there was a little outside chance. Look, my first one I wanted was Luis Enrique for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And when they won on Saturday, and when that happened on Saturday, I thought there's maybe a little bit of an outside chance here, because he said, hasn't he, about he wanted to manage in the Premier League, and you know, he's won 2 trebles, whether that. So I'm not going to lie, my first choice for obvious reason will be him. Yeah. Now, this lad coming in, he's young, he's enthusiastic, and all that type of stuff, but he's not won anything yet. He's not done 3 games in a week yet. So they're all being his challenges, and the type of football he plays, don't get me wrong, will have us in our seats. And, you know, the lads, I'm lucky enough, I go with a good group of lads to the away games as well. And, you know, some of the stuff, thankfully, we've got a good group, because we've had a ball on the bus when we've been that bad of late because of the footy. So, you know, he'll have a full pre-season. He'll get everything that he needs off us in relation to support. But, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Al and Jeff, all manager appointments are risks. Do you know what I mean? But they are. But normally, I'd like to think, you know, we get off with a decent start, get a little bit of momentum behind him. But look, I love watching Bournemouth. And if I'm honest with you, those included, by the way, I don't think the quality in the league was great last year. But Bournemouth were good on the eye go. Bournemouth, you enjoyed watching, and they did overachieve.
Yeah.
And I know, look, you know, it's the old adage for me as well, as you look at some of the players. Use Kirkes, for example. We were made up when we got him from Bournemouth because he was the best fullback. But the shirt gets a little bit heavier when you put a Liverpool shirt on. Do you know what I mean? So when you go in the Liverpool dugout, it probably becomes a little bit more, you know, ooh, this is a little bit more challenging than what it is in the Bournemouth dugout. So,
Oh, we lost you, Scott. Such a good call.
Yeah, it was a great call.
Thank you very much indeed.
Great call.
I agree with a lot of things that
very good.
He said there, you know, and
definitely going to argue in there.
Yeah, and only a lot of Liverpool fans will be looking forward to seeing his team next season. That is for sure. Jill has texted. She said, "I don't think Jeff's miserable, just a bit odd at times." Jill, I thought you were a friend. Seriously.
Here you, Joe.
Yeah, and we're talking wasps and bees and things. Dan in Essex says, "Morning, chaps. As a Watford season ticket holder, I've been watching Docile Hornets all season."
Very good.
Very good, Dan.
Very good,
And
mate.
I got an anonymous text. It's a good job it's anonymous as well. It says, "Lads walk like an Egyptian was Bananarama." No, it wasn't Bananarama.
Bangles.
It was definitely the Bangles. In the mid-80s, by 1986, I think. 7:14, coming up, we'll turn our attention to Fulham and life after Marco Silva at Craven Cottage. Joining us now, presenter, huge Arsenal fan, Joel Bear. Morning, Joel. Sorry to put you through that again.
Morning, Dean. Morning, Jeff. You know what? I'm here to launch an attack on them too.
Good. How are you?
Gabby and Cundy, because I don't understand how you can be on radio representing the people who love football, and that's what you come out with. They came to work wearing PSG shirts. I was in Budapest enjoying the game. I look at my timeline and it's them dancing around, celebrating. Your team, yeah, you love Chelsea, but you played for Ipswich, mate. That's where you had the majority of your appearances, Ipswich Football Club. Gabby, you played for Aston Villa. You love Thierry Henry. You told me yourself last week. Where has it gone wrong? Why is it that there's so much hate for Arsenal? Where's this come from? I mean, what do you think when you sit there and you look at it, Jeff?
No, I was embarrassed by that. Because domestically, well, not domestically, of English clubs, Arsenal have unquestionably had the most successful season. You know, they've won the Premier League. They've been within a spot kick of winning the Champions League as well. Personally, I don't particularly enjoy the way they play, but you cannot deny they have been the best side this season.
100%. It's been effective. If you want to go down to the stats, you know, I had the chance to be on the Budapest show the other day. PSG have scored 45 goals this Champions League campaign. They've conceded 23. We minimalised them to just...
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, just after 7:18 at the moment. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. I've got a message on X from KTB. Said, there you go, belittling Ghana. We're ex-quarterfinalists. We played each other once in 2012 and that was a draw. Yeah. Why do you guys always install yourselves as favourites before every tournament? Well, that's because we're English. Mark it, you won't beat Ghana. By the way, give us our Kobe Mainu back. It is presumptuous, I know KTB, but Ghana are 250 to 1 to win the World Cup. So if we're not beating Ghana, we're not winning the World Cup. I think that's as simple as that. We're talking about bees, amongst other things here. Andy from Wolves went to the shop and bought 12 bees. When I got home, I counted them. There were 13, so I went back to the shop. The assistant said one was a free bee. I like that. It was so pathetic. It's brilliant, you know. And
do you like that?
Yeah. I've got another text. How can you guys talk crushers without mentioning Wendy James? That's from Paul, a Man United fan.
What was the name of the band?
Transvision Vamp.
Oh, brilliant. He's all over it. He's all over it. Brilliant.
Right, let's get back to the sport just for a minute or two anyway. Fulham manager Marco Silva's confirmed he's going to leave the club after 5 years in charge. He's close to agreeing a deal to take over at Benfica. Darren Bent was on Drive yesterday talking about why this is the right time for Marco Silva to leave.
I do look at Fulham and just think sometimes there's hovering. Like, I think Marco Silva got frustrated that there was no real back in. He couldn't really go again, and almost the season just kind of just petered out. They had a chance of getting in Europe at one point, and yeah, it was a very, very. I think maybe both parties Fulham need to go one direction, and Marco Silva, but he's done a great job.
Yeah. Do you think they could go down next season?
depends what they keep. I mean, Harry Wilson, they've got good players in the squad, but they do need more investment.
I'll be stunned if Harry Wilson stays. His contract's ended, right?
Yeah. But again, it depends on the move, right? Sometimes it's not always greener.
Let's bring in a man who played 140 times, well, more than that, actually, for the club. It's Maurice Faults. Morning, Maurice.
Morris, morning, how are you?
Good morning, guys.
Hey, nice
Good
to see you again,
Great
mate.
to see you,
Absolutely, yeah. We bumped into each other quite a lot in Germany during the Euros. Look, is this a dangerous time for Fulham, Moritz, do you think?
I think so, because, yes, they were hovering, but Marco Silva, to me, did a great job stabilizing the club in the Premiership. A season like this season, obviously, you would hope maybe we can get into Europe at the end of the season, but, you know, a lot of things have to go right, and they were never in danger really during his time, and I think that's in itself a great job.
I think you're right. I think it's an interesting one, Moritz, looking at it. I think everybody would agree that he's done a fantastic job. We were talking earlier on, and we think it's like, if you're a Fulham fan at this moment in time, I think you'd be a little bit concerned, because we feel the appointment has to be a good one and a right one, and keep them on the trajectory that they're on.
True, and I think one thing that may work well for Fulham is that currently there are some good managers on the market available, but I mean, you know, the appointments are being made on a daily basis, so to think that they haven't got an immediate replacement is also disappointing from the club's perspective, because I think it looked like Marco was going to leave this summer for a long time now, and they have had time to prepare.
I mean, look, purely from Marco Silva's point of view, I think he's massively underrated rather. Massively underrated with what he's achieved at Fulham. Fulham eventually offered him big money to try and keep him. But Moritz, you can understand the appeal of a club the size of Benfica.
Yeah.
True. I think Marco Silva is at this stage of his coaching career where he feels like getting a big club maybe the right time for him. And at Benfica, you know, I think for us it's an attractive and appealing club, but for a Portuguese, probably even more so.
Maurice, I've got a question for you, and it's something I'm sure you're aware of. One of the big stories here, certainly the last few weeks, has been Spygate, as it's been christened over here, involving Southampton. Now, I'm led to believe that it's something that's not particularly uncommon in Germany.
Well, I've come across it in various different ways. Way back when I was scouted for Arsenal, the then chief scout Steve Rowley, he was seen hiding behind trees. Now, everyone who knew him, he was fairly big, and the trees, even the German trees, weren't big enough to cover him entirely. So he was spotted anywhere he went. But no, remember when Pep Guardiola took over at Bayern, the first thing he did, he installed these huge curtains around the training pitch so that people couldn't look in to what they were doing anymore. And yeah, I think there is a certain pride in German coaching that makes it almost that race for information, that race for, oh, I know what you're doing, is a competition. And for me, I experienced it even as a player, where I saw coaches were concerned if people were watching our training sessions. And I thought, guys, relax. It's not like rocket science what we're doing here. And I see it so many times, even when we prepare set pieces for our own teams now. So little of what we're actually practicing happens in the game that I don't think it makes that big of a difference.
Moritz, just finally, World Cup round the corner. What are the expectations of Germany?
I think realistic. I think we need to get through the group stages, and once it gets into the knockout stages, it depends a little bit on your route. But I think we're not able to compete with the best teams, the Frances, Spains. We may beat one of them, but I don't think we beat more than one of them. So I think quarterfinals, semifinals, semifinals certainly would be a good tournament for us.
Brilliant. Moritz, thank you so much,
Moritz,
mate.
thanks a lot, mate. See you soon.
Anytime, guys. See you soon.
Appreciate it.
Maurice Phelps, he's an absolutely top man, by the way.
Wasn't he great?
He's a top man, he really is. Who do you think Fulham should go for? Look, I know there's a lot of talk about
Thomas Frank.
Kieran McKenna, but Thomas Frank, yeah.
I would actually.
Yeah, no.
You couldn't argue with Kieran McKenna, you absolutely couldn't argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what Ipswich fans would feel about that. Obviously he's taken them up twice now. Whether he will feel that Fulham are a more established... well, they are a more
they are. There's no doubt
Premier
about that.
League club. There's no doubt about whether that would give them a better chance or not.
I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because they're clearly more established than a side like Ipswich. And they're even more established than a club like Sunderland who've qualified for Europe. There's a lot to like about Fulham, and there's a lot to like about the job that he did. And it's a strange one. And the point I was trying to make, you're just a little bit concerned. Because they've had great stability. I think 11th a couple of times, 10th, 13th. And the next step is European football. For a club like Fulham, but not at the cost of anything else. Do you know what I mean? So that they've just got to get it right. I just think Thomas Frank would be a good fit.
Dean says on a slot, Sean Dyche or Eric Ten Hag to Fulham. Don't think many Fulham fans would be thanking you for the Eric Ten Hag suggestion, but Sean Dyche is available if he wants to return to management as well. Interesting. And cheeky sounds, Chuddy, pushing your luck. The celebrity catchphrase featuring Jeff is one that Roy Walker was presenting. Remember Roy Walker?
I do.
How many years ago was that? It was Stephen Mulhern, Chuddy. Stephen Mulhern.
Roy Walker. Do you not remember that there was a brilliant... It comes on now again on the... not a WhatsApp, the Instagram, whatever it is, TikTok. The Roy Walker one, where it's hilarious. You know that bit where you've got to guess what it is? And without divulging too much information, it looks rather naughty, and they lose it. And Roy Walker is in tears laughing. It was a bit like you and I with that chest joke. He just loses it. It's brilliant.
But it was Stephen Mulhern, Chuddy. Coming up, we'll bring you more on what Scotland can achieve at the World Cup and round up some of the other news coming from friendlies overnight.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them.
What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, 7:34. It's Wednesday, June the 3rd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark, who are celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June. You'll be entered into their weekly draw to win the cost of it back. And now the news broke yesterday regarding Kenny Dalglish, who announced that he has been diagnosed with cancer. A former Liverpool captain, Jordan Henderson, gave his reaction to talkSPORT yesterday.
Yeah, same Stephen really. I was shocked to see the news this morning. I texted him as well because he's been a huge figure in my career, my whole career, and he took us to Liverpool and even afterwards he always keeps in touch, so it was a big shock, but yeah, just sending all the love and prayers to him and his family to hopefully he can make a strong recovery and he's back to his fighting self and high spirits soon.
Well, it was shocking news, Coisty, wasn't it? Obviously somebody you know very well.
Certainly was. I mean, Kenny's he's a hero to millions, absolutely millions. Fantastic player, fantastic man, you know, just the way he handled. You go back to the Hillsborough situation, the way him and his football club and everybody handled all that stuff, which is obviously far greater than football itself. But I mean, as a player, as a man, just the best. I was fortunate enough to be in a few squads with him. Played with him very, very briefly. The best for me, absolutely the best. And we obviously here every day at Talks are wishing him, you know, all the very, very best in the future.
Yeah, he's got a wonderful dry sense.
Dry. I mean,
Dry.
I could sit and tell you stories of how he tucked me up a couple of times. Just brilliant. A wicked. I would describe, you know, you describe people, you know, a dry sense of humour. I would say his was wicked, right? Some of it, you know, he'd keep his face straight. He was evil, all bordering on evil, that sense of humour. But he had such a command and respect and a way of delivering punchlines, and brilliant he was. Yeah. He's fantastic. So we're wishing him always a speedy recovery.
Oh, look, it's been a terrible week. Kevin Keegan earlier this week confirmed he's got stage 4 cancer. And yesterday,
I know, mate,
as well, John Barnes, England legend, announcing that he was suffering from prostate cancer.
I couldn't believe it.
As well, yeah.
Couldn't believe it. And again, it's just a reminder for everybody to go and get that checked as often as you can. You know, you get the blood tests and all that stuff. And it definitely is. I mean, I went myself recently to get a test, and it's a lot easier and it's a lot less time than a lot of people would think. So, you know, clearly I'd urge everybody to go and get the test.
Yeah, well, there's been a bit of controversy lately, hasn't there, about, you know, recommendations that there shouldn't be a national screening programme, but the government has offered screening to all black men aged between 45 and 74 because this is a racist illness, prostate cancer.
It is, absolutely.
1 in 8 men will get prostate cancer, but if you're black, your risk is 1 in 4.
Correct. Absolutely.
So,
which is remarkable. So, no.
Yeah, it's very good. Again, you know, John Barnes has come out and announced that he's got prostate cancer, and it helps raise awareness all the time because he can put over the message, we can put over the message that people need to go and get tested.
I mean, you look at the guys like that, what you know, whether it's Kevin, Kenny, John, it just reinforces the fact that nobody's safe. You know, there's nobody clear of this horrendous cancer. It's the worst, Jeff. It's absolutely the worst, and everybody needs to get checked. Simple as.
Yeah, that's the news about John Barnes and Kenny Dalglish. Let's hope that Scotland could put a smile on Kenny's face this summer. The Scotland captain Andy Robertson was on the Breakfast Show on Friday, and he was talking about his delight that Scotland manager Steve Clarke signed a new deal.
We've been able to create a special atmosphere in terms of within the squad, and all the lads are so close, but without him it's not possible. And you know, he's really created such a special atmosphere, and he's the one that deserves all the credit. And obviously the contract situation, I think everyone's glad that, especially him, I think he can put it to bed now and not get asked a million questions about it. And before the World Cup, it gives us all a huge boost because, you know, there's obviously only one man that we want to lead us and want to lead us after the World Cup, and that's him. And to know that his, you know, future's sorted and he's going to be the Scotland manager for the next 4 years is good for all of us. And I think he had a big smile on his face yesterday. We all know he doesn't smile too often, but yesterday he couldn't hide it. So
I must have missed that, Andy.
I think he's delighted as well.
Why do nations hand out new contracts before the big tournaments?
The answer to that is effectively I don't know, but I've got to say, I think it was probably met with universal acceptance and pleasure, to be brutally honest with you, north of the border, and I was certainly delighted. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Jeff, we were not qualifying for a lot of stages of tournaments, major tournaments, and then all of a sudden, Clarkie's managed to get us to €2 in the World Cup with the help, clearly, of a really hard-working, good squad.
Yeah, I'm just being devil's advocate.
No, I know.
It's a lot easier to get to the Euros and the World Cups now than it has been.
No doubt about that. Listen, you are 100% factually correct. And to take it a step further, once you get there, you look at this World Cup, it is a lot easier to get out the group.
Yeah.
I mean, the Euros I played in 92 or 96, I think there's only 8 teams in them, you know, so, excuse me. So it's clearly difficult to get out of groups. Now, I've looked and I've mentioned already, Jeff, I think Scotland will get out the group Yeah, but the fact of it is a lot easier to get out the group. Now, when Scotland do get out the group, which I'm confident that we will,
despite the Haiti win
against New Zealand, yeah, you've tried to listen. They
must have some strike power.
You can attempt to dampen my enthusiasm all you like, right?
You better hope your keeper's at his best. Who's going to be the keeper? Because Angus Gunn's got the number 1 shirt. Does that mean he's starting?
Probably. Yeah, I think he probably will.
You think that's the right move?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, Craig Gordon's been brilliant for you whenever he's played.
Craig Gordon's been remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. He really has. But getting back to the point, you know, I genuinely think and hope that we do get out the squad. But once out the group, and once we do, if we do, you know, there'll be clamours, people saying, "Is this the best Scotland squad ever?" No, it won't be. But the fact of the matter is, they've achieved something that no other Scotland squad has been able to do. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. I think we've got some very, very talented players. I think, as Andy Robertson was probably hinting at there, I think probably our main strength is the spirit in the squad and the togetherness, which can go a long way. You know, because we don't have the talented players that, you know, we don't have the talented players England have got, for example, or certainly France, Spain.
Or Haiti.
Yeah. Nay, don't you start me. Right, you're trying to threaten me with that 4-0. I'm going to look at the teams. I bet New Zealand did the third team out. Right?
Yeah, would you know?
Yeah, because you told me yesterday that somebody was on the bench with, who was it? You mentioned that a 4th division team or something. Anyway, I just did say, I'm sticking to it, the results prior to these tournaments, a couple of weeks before these tournaments starts, don't matter a jot.
Just quickly look, I mean, I think you're really strong in midfield, obviously. You know, and up front you've got Shankland, you've got Shea Adams as well. Is Ben Gallendoke fit?
That's, do you know something?
I think he's a game changer.
That he is key. He's the first player we've had in a number of years, Jeff, that has the ability, and he doesn't play regular, but he is so important to Scotland, I think. Particularly, you mentioned that game against Haiti, where Shankland plays, I think, for me. Must start. Ben Gallendoke. Somebody's got a bit of pace. Somebody that can get by somebody in a way.
Throw back to some of the old Scotland wingers, isn't he?
Go back Jimmy Johnson, Willie Henderson, Davy Cooper, the great wingers that we've had. You know, and I'm probably putting a bit of undue pressure on him here, but we need somebody like we've had good hard-working players in wide areas, and particularly in the middle of the park. We've now got somebody that can get by somebody, and hopefully in that kind of game it can make a difference.
Yeah, brilliant. Let's hope so. Let's hope it's fit and flying. Scotland at the World Cup then. We're giving you the chance to win a trip there as well, courtesy of Adidas. You and a mate could be in New York on June 27 watching England against Panama live. We've got flights, hotels, spending money, match tickets and the official Trionder match ball all covered. Head to talksportwin.com to enter and for full T's and C's right now. Okay, 7:43 still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Go big on landscaping with Travis Perkins. Find everything you need at travisperkins.co.uk.
Andoni Iraola looks like he is the chosen one for Liverpool. Is he ready? We'll ask the Daily Telegraph's Merseyside correspondent Dominic King exactly that. We'll be talking to Tony Bellew as well, as he looks forward to a night of celebration in the name of Ricky Hatton. And we'll have a bit of this.
I still believe it's you and me till the end of time.
It's Biffy Clyra. We'll have Simon Neil and Ben Johnston joining us ahead of their 2026 tour. I didn't realise they've been together more than 30 years.
By the way, that is incredible. That was a wee shock to the system for me. It really was.
Absolutely. And it's Simon's the big Rangers fan, isn't he?
Yeah. Great lad.
I think
they're great boys.
Ben's a Killie fan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, brilliant. Look forward to talking to them. I think it's about 9:30, something like that. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Our future is
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. From fence panels to decking or paving packs to topsoil, Travis Perkins has all your landscaping needs covered.
Didn't mean to offend. Did not mean to upset. Too many people that I've upset to name. I mean, social media is an absolute wash with it. So, you know, it was only a little bit of fun. All right, that was all it was.
It's people's lives here.
I know, but they're football fans, right?
They're football fans, yeah. But the way you done it, I thought was totally.
Look, Gabby, I got the tone. Me and Gabby, I spoke to Gabby earlier.
It was crazy. It was too much.
No. Listen, we got it wrong.
Targeted abuse. Targeted.
You make mistakes and you move on and you learn from it. All right.
But you wouldn't let off. You had your foot on their neck.
No, I understand that particular. I've been there. I know what it's like. And look. Okay, so I thought at the top of the show, the only right thing to do was to apologise and say sorry.
Yes.
To absolutely nobody. The double Champions League winners, Chelsea, can say what we want. Right, get your big boy pants on, you gooners. I've heard you whinging and cringing. Oh, he wore a top to work I didn't like. Oh, he celebrated a goal against our team. You lot moaning like 6 months old with nappy rash. Absolute wet.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. Some of the headlines you're waking up to this morning. Kieran McKenna's interested in replacing Marco Silva as Fulham manager. talkSPORT understands other options for Fulham include the former Tottenham boss and Brentford boss, of course, Thomas Frank. Liverpool have reached a verbal agreement with Andoni Iraola to take over as head coach following the sacking of Arne Slot. And England's World Cup group opponents, Ghana, drew 1-1 against Wales last night at the Cardiff City.
Is that the Ghana that you've completely written off? But it sounds like
250-1.
Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, they wouldn't be the strongest of the African sides. I think you've got to say Morocco and Senegal.
Yeah, certainly Morocco. Yeah. Was it Morocco that got to the semis? Was it
yeah, last time. Yeah,
right.
I think probably not quite as good this time around, but but they officially won the African Cup of Nations, having been beaten by Senegal.
Let's not go there.
The result was
please. Let's not go there.
Anyway, it was Ghana who were playing last night at the Cardiff City Stadium. Lawrence Moore caught up with the Coventry and Ghana striker Brandon Thomas Asante after the match, who talked about facing England in the World Cup in a few weeks.
We've all got our eyes on that game, but of course all the games. That's part of being a professional in an event like this, such as the World Cup, to see those bigger games and those ones that are well covered, but also to take every game as seriously as each other. So we have to pass the Panama test first, which we're not sleeping on that, and we know we've got a job to do there. But then when it comes to the England game, of course there's a lot of different interests in terms of players who are playing in England, who born here or whatever, but we're all wanting to do a job, and we believe in our squad that we've got what it takes to cause an upset.
Brandon Thomas Asante is going to the World Cup with Ghana. Right, time now for our coffee break with Costa Express.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT. Sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
And it's time for a bit of this.
Stick a load of singles in there and then they fall in love.
Of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard.
A 36-year-old, you'll have the knockers, you will.
Just because it's offering its teat, do I really have to muscle on that?
Is there anything in your personal life that could be causing you stress, sir?
I'm not a great lover.
Hello. Oh. What's your name?
Sarah Louise.
Sarah Louise. Fuck, you're up for it, aren't you?
I was in love at the time. That's what I was doing.
At the time?
Yeah, it's time for Transfer Tinder. Katie Shanahan is back with us. It's an hour and a half since Katie was last with us. Presumably, in that time, you've been listening to the greatest hits of Susie Quattro, have you?
Yes, and I've also been Googling a lot of hot women, according to Ali McCoist.
So is Coisty.
Yeah. You should see my Google search, Ali. Probably matching yours. Susie Quattro and Wendy James.
Wendy James, yes. What was it? Transmission Vamp, wasn't it? You said that.
Transmission Vamp, yeah.
Any more you want to add to the list to my Google search?
No, I think that'll do.
For now.
It's getting to that time.
Okay, yes, so it's time for Transfer Tinder. First up, we've got a 6'4" stylish Frenchman, but after 5 happy years with my lover, I've been dumped. How do you get back at an ex? Well, a rendezvous with a Spanish senorita would fit the bill. So Ibrahim Kanate to Real Madrid. Are you swiping left or right for this one?
If I'm him, right, it's the biggest swipe right in modern history.
What a result that is for him.
That is a pools win. That arguably might be the most incredible transfer in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, fair play to him if it happens. But I mean,
I think he's a Jose Mourinho type of player.
I'm not sure I do, actually. I'm not sure I do. I mean, listen, of course he's a good player. And when he was playing well in that side with Big Virgil, they looked the part. There's no doubt about it. But alas, what I've seen recently, oh, dear me. Clearly, I don't know whether he had a move in his head or he's been tapped up or whatever it'd been, but his form dropped.
So you're swiping right, which is a match.
If I'm him.
You've got a match.
Yeah, if I'm him, as far right as you can possibly go, you know, it's a definite swipe right.
Okay, let's see if it's a big swipe right for this one. Who's that Northern Irish hunk on that tractor? And could he be lured to Craven Cottage? Ali McCoist with all the facial expressions here. Think of all the Northern Irish hunks on a tractor before I reveal who this is. It's also quite awkward because I speak to this person quite a lot. So I've delivered several promotions with an unlikely lover, but now I'm ready for something serious. Fulham offers stability, ambition, and a stage in the Premier League. I bring intelligence, vision, and a promise of a brighter future. Not a whirlwind affair, but the sort of partnership that could grow into something special. So you've guessed it, Alan Coist. Kieran McKenna to Fulham. Are you swiping left or right for this one?
I'm swiping right. I'll tell you why. Like
You've got a match.
Jeff mentioned, I think he's done a fantastic job at Ipswich. Fantastic job. And I think now's the time for him maybe to get a new, fresh challenge. I can see the Ipswich folk going crazy, but I think it might just be the right time for Ipswich as well, for a wee change. And sometimes, you know, the departures that are both amicable and at the right time are the best. And he could move on perhaps to a team like Fulham. I think it'd be a great move for Fulham, a great move for him. And Ipswich can go again.
I don't think many Ipswich fans would agree with you.
No?
I don't think any Ipswich fans would want to see Kieran McKenna leaving. I don't think they'll think it's the right time.
No. I know, but I'm just thinking, maybe not the fans, but I'm talking about the club. You know, he's been brilliant. I get it. And you know, Ipswich fans would probably want him as the man to take them back up. But as we say, we're looking for stability. We're looking for Sunderland. We're looking for a bit of stability in the league. They've come straight back down a couple of times. You know,
but then they've gone straight back up. So do you think for him it's more of a change, but also maybe he's been told that they might not be investing massively in the summer, so the writing's on the wall, and he might be like, look, I want to go to Fulham.
Well, clearly we're not privy to that kind of information. I think from Fulham's point of view, it's a good move, but also Thomas Frank was a good move for Fulham. I get that. And I get, you know, Ipswich, probably he would be the man that you'd want in your dugout to get you straight back up. I just think sometimes a wee change isn't a bad thing.
Immediate text. Stop swiping right on McKenna. Not the right time at all. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to swipe left as far as Kieran McKenna's going, because I think that Thomas Frank would be a good fit. A good fitter.
Yes. That's
I think Thomas Frank would be a better fit.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But
so Kieran McKenna's staying.
Yeah, Thomas Frank never came into the equation. You'd ask me, would he be a good fit for... Would McKenna be a good fit for?
That's another transfer.
Yes, he would.
Option.
But I think Thomas Frank would be the one.
Last one before I go. I've just got married, but I'm spying a new place to live. The mystery of Southampton is too much for me. Our relationship is complicated. Coventry aren't looking for a summer fling. They're in the Premier League and in need of a serious lover. So Taylor Harwood-Bellis to Coventry. He's swiping left or right, Jeff?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I'll swipe left.
Okay.
I think he's a solid championship performer. Don't think he did himself any favours in the aftermath, before the outcome of the Southampton Spygate issue was resolved, when he made the binocular signs during the course of the semi-final against Middlesbrough. Didn't do himself any favours there. But purely on a footballing point of view, I'm not sure he'd be an improvement on what Coventry have got already, so I'll go left.
I'm for those similar reasons, very similar reasons. Plus the fact I think there'd be probably part of him would be interested in staying and getting the job done this time.
Yeah.
So I'm left with Jeff.
Okay, and that is Transfer Tinder wrapped up.
That was excellent.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You got away to listen to Susie Quattro.
I am, and a bit Wendy James.
Yeah, love it, love it. When are you back, Katie?
In about a month's time, that's me.
Oh, you're off to the World Cup?
I'm off to the World Cup now. So, yes, Toronto next Wednesday, Houston, Boston, New York, and Vancouver. So, I'll have to see you at some
We'll
point.
definitely catch up over there, because I know you're in Boston for Scotland, Morocco.
Yes, so I'll see you for Scotland, Morocco.
Definitely, if I don't see you,
grab a wine.
You are going to love Vancouver.
Yeah, I've never been to Canada.
Vancouver.
Canada's one of the greatest places, greatest
see
countries
Vancouver,
I've ever been to.
Over to Vancouver Island, up to Whistler. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
I'll see you there. Oh no, I'm not going, am I?
Oh no. No, everybody else is going.
Everybody else seems to be
the
going.
show after us, the tea time show.
Don't worry, I'll hold the fort here.
I think Cundy and O'Hara are probably going over to do their show midnight and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's going over.
I would just say here, by the way, Johnny's just texted me. Some morning, gents. Well, I missed Haiti against New Zealand. The friendly score there. It was 4-0 to Haiti. 4-0 to Haiti, Johnny. They play Scotland. Must-win game for Scotland.
Don't panic, Johnny.
Yeah.
Hey, don't panic, Captain Mannering.
Brilliant. Katie, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Over there. Have a great
See
time.
you over there. Thank you.
Yeah, that was all thanks to Costa Express. Just before we move on, I've got a text that I just want to read out. It's from Lou Stewart, who is Marcus Stewart's wife. Marcus, of course, suffering from MND at the moment. Says, morning, Jeff. Hope you're having a good morning. I am. Thank you very much indeed, Lou. We are in the middle of a 6-day continual walk, 360 miles, 45 football and rugby grounds to be visited, raising awareness and vital funds for MND. I think it started at Anfield, didn't it? About 3 days ago, something like that. It'd be great to have a shout out on talkSPORT. If people want to donate, head to Redwood Events and March of the Day 3. March of the Day 3. Any support would be much appreciated. I've been following some of the tweets from Ollie Kay, who's doing that march as well. It's a tough one, 360 miles, but it's a fantastic cause. So support them if you possibly can. If you can't afford to give and you see them on the way, just give them a shout out.
Absolutely.
Because, it's worth its weight in gold.
Well done,
Lou,
guys.
best of luck with that. And Marcus, of course, we're thinking of you at
100%.
all times. Coming up, we turn our attention back to Iraola's arrival at Liverpool and just how many signings would need to follow him through the door. That's next.
The Costa Coffee Break on talkSPORT. Sponsored by Costa Express. Quality coffee, quality day.
a lot of this book, you got a lot of praise for a lot of people in it, from Stuart Pearce through to David Moyes or whatever. But how much of your departure in that manner from West Ham did you feel was down to Graham Potter?
I think it was a lot down to him. Obviously, he didn't really know me as a person, didn't really know me as a player, other than what he saw me playing. But I felt like the conversations that I was having with him was like, it's got nothing to do with me, it's got to do with the chairman, and the chairman would be like, it's the manager. I honestly just feel like he was the one who really made the decision in the end. But it wasn't just me, it was obviously me, Aaron Cresswell, Vlad, Lucas Fabianski, Edson. Like, he got rid of a lot of the senior group, the leaders in the changing rooms. And I feel like he was trying to change things up and go more young. But then it's a bit of a contradicting factor because he did that. And then within 3 weeks, he was going, we've got the leaders in the changing room. When his decision to get rid of him. So it made no sense to me.
I think, Michael, I mean, I'm looking at this, mate, and one of the quotes you said in the podcast was, I had resentment against the club. I hated them. Nothing to do with the fans, just the ownership. The only way they could feel my pain, was to be relegated. Now, do you think, the question I would ask you is, do you think it was a personal attack? Did it feel personal? Or, as you say in the book, humans, not robots, do you think it's an overriding thing where players in general, their feelings aren't taken into account?
I think it's players in general.
Football fans all have stadiums we love, but do any of us have a pitch that we love? It might sound like an odd question, but pitches can be different sizes with big consequences. Why is that? And what are the actual rules? Back when association football started, pitches could be up to 100 metres wide and 200 metres long. That's longer than Ellen Road. Not the pitch, the stadium. Anyway, UEFA wanted a standard across Europe for international matches, which became 105 metres long and 68 metres wide. But some clubs had been rebels, not intentionally, but because of the stadiums. Take Highbury, for example. It was 5 metres shorter and a metre narrower, meaning away sides had a challenge to adjust. White Hart Lane was exactly the same. And actually, when Spurs temporarily moved to Wembley, they asked the FA to shorten the pitch. The FA, very offended by the sacrilegious suggestion, said no, which in fairness could have actually benefited Tottenham because when they moved into their shiny new stadium, the pitch was exactly the same size as Wembley's. Today, Forest Pitch at the City Ground is a big one. It's 2 metres wider than any other pitch in the Premier League. But the smallest of all, Craven Cottage, just 100 metres long and 65 wide. No excuse for not tracking your man. There are a couple of crazy outliers in Europe too. At Napoli's home ground, the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, the pitch is a whopping 110 metres long. At least they don't play on a slope like Newcastle do. There's a 2-metre incline on the pitch at St James's Park. And don't get me started on the old pitch at Yeovil too. It used to be a slant of 2 metres corner to corner and across the halfway line. So UEFA have their standards, so do the FA, but they do give pitches in England some wiggle room. Pitches can be anywhere between 90 and 120 metres long and between 45 and 90 metres wide. I mean, the rules state you can't have a square pitch, but in theory you could have one that's 91 metres long and 90 wide. Imagine rocking up to play a Sunday League game and the pitch is basically a square. So there are rules and regulations on sizes, with a UEFA standard that roughly everyone follows, but as we all know, size doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, good morning. 6 minutes past 8. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Buy a used car in their upgrade event and get 2 years free servicing plus a chance to win the cost of it back this June. I have to tell you, Coisty, I saw that news last night about Carl Robinson last night.
That's baffled me, that.
I was flabbergasted. My flabber has rarely been so gasted as it was.
So was it County beat them in the playoff? Is that correct?
They lost in the playoff final, having missed out on automatic promotion on the final day of the regular season.
I remember we spoke to
as well. And he's been sacked after a, quote, thorough review.
I think they're, since back into the top leagues, I think they're longest serving managers, something like 2.5 years. I know Graham Alexander was there, wasn't he, for about that kind of period?
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable, really.
Look, I'm going to question their decision making. We all know who's involved with something. Yeah. We all know. But look at some of the managers they've got rid of. Obviously, Neil Wood was one. Gary Bowyer, Richie Wellens, Graham Alexander. Okay? Gary Bowyer's managing in League One now. Richie Wellens is managing League One now.
Yeah.
Graham Alexander is managing in League One now. What does it tell you about the decision making at Salford City?
That's unbelievable. Yeah. So I missed that happened last night, I take it then?
Yeah, late last night. Yeah.
Take it all, say to you. I bet it's no long before he's back.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he deserves.
Of course he does.
As well.
100% he does.
Just a crazy, crazy decision. On the way for you this morning, we'll be turning our attention back to Spygate. Yep, yet again. Southampton are backing their boss, Tonda Eckert, who had this to say yesterday.
For everything that's happened, I do want to apologize. And I hold my hand up because as a head coach, I am responsible.
The FA could yet ban Eckert. We'll ask ITV Racing host, big Southampton fan, Ed Chamberlain.
Yes.
Sticking with the German is the right call by Dragon Sterling. We might mention the derby to him as well, I think. Stay tuned at 9:30 for a couple of Ali's Caledonian music heroes, Simon Neal and Ben Johnston, a.k.a. Biffy Clyra. They'll be joining us live on the show. And now that Liverpool have reached a verbal agreement with Andoni Iraola to take over as head coach following the sacking of Arne Slot. A lot of Liverpool fans have been disappointed that they waited too long and missed the chance to clinch Xabi Alonso. European football expert Kev Hatchard, however, believes Iraola is the right man to fill the Jurgen Klopp-shaped hole that Liverpool fans so badly want filled.
The shadow of Jurgen Klopp can loom over a club long after the great man has moved on to pastures new. A section of Dortmund fans still hanker after that full-throttle, fast-paced style. Klopp's incredible reign at Liverpool left a similar mark, and that's why Andoni Iraola is a better fit right now than Xabi Alonso would have been. Alonso's Leverkusen did play exciting football, but it was often measured, a display of control and short, accurate passing. Iraola's aggressive physical style will need to be adapted somewhat for a Liverpool side that will expect to dominate possession in most games, but it should bring back that visceral thrill that was somehow lost under Arne Slot this season.
For more on Iraola's imminent arrival, we're now joined by the Telegraph's Merseyside correspondent Dom King. Morning to you, Dom.
Morning, Dom. How are you, mate?
Very well. Good morning, gentlemen. You both okay?
We're in good form, thanks, Dom.
Is that right? Iraola a better fit than Xabi Alonso would have been at Anfield?
Jeff, I'll be honest. My preference would have been Xabi Alonso long way through, just for the fact his connection with the club, for what he did with Leverkusen. I understand the talk about style, but I was at Leverkusen a couple of times to see his team play, and it was always exciting to see them dismantle Bayern Munich one night 3-0 on the way to winning the league. But it was obvious from a long way out that it wasn't going to be Xabi, and although Xabi and Andoni Iraola share the same agent, so they would have known clearly what was their futures were going to look like. So out of the candidates that were out there, Iraola is definitely the best fit now. But I do think he's arriving at the club with a few questions to answer about whether he can make the step up, which is only right.
I think so, Dom, and I don't want to harp on about it, but I'm with you, mate. I saw that Leverkusen side on numerous occasions, when they went through that entire campaign undefeated until they lost the final to Atalanta. I was even at that game. And by the way, they were anything a bit short I thought they played great football and they were really, really good to watch. So, what do you think the issue was with Alonso? Is it just they didn't fancy him? Was it a timing issue? Clearly, Areola looks as though that's been their target from the word go.
I think you've just sort of the first observation on it. I think they probably just didn't fancy him. They just didn't fancy him for the role at the moment. Do you know what? I'm fascinated though about this thing about style, that Liverpool have to play a certain way and whatever. Yet they do have to have energy in the crowd, energy at Anfield, and that was one thing that was horribly missing last year. And it was apparent from a long way out that the fans were getting disenchanted with what was going on, and the fact Richard Hughes, the sporting director, was at the games against Chelsea and Brentford, he would have been well aware of the depth of how low the depth of feeling had gone. But do you know what matters more than anything? Winning.
Yeah,
you have to have a winning team. There are different ways to doing it. It hasn't got to be like, passing out from the back and running like 100 million miles an hour. If you're winning and it's exciting, you can do it in any kind of way, and that's what matters. Winning.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Just harping back to the Alonso against Areola. Alonso, as we've seen at Chelsea, very much want control of that football club. Areola's always said, "I'm just the coach, just the coach." What are the priorities during the course of the summer, do you think, in terms of recruitment for Liverpool, Dom?
Well, Jeff, this is going to be really interesting because with Arne Slot, the priority for the window was the right side of attack, replacing Mo Salah, finding somebody who can slot into that situation. This is just my own personal view. Plenty of people probably disagree, but I've been looking at Liverpool's team for the last 6-8 months, and I just believe that they need a defensive midfielder. I think they need somebody like Fabinho, like they signed him 8 years ago, to just provide a buffer in front of the defence. I think they probably need a right back. I think they'll be busy. I think they have to be busy because there's the contractual situations around a few. They've got several players are entering the last 12 months of the contracts. And then there's a few more who've got 2 years left, and they can't keep afford to letting talent walk out of the building for nothing. Like we've just seen what's happened with Ibu Konate going to Real Madrid, and that's another. They could. He's a 27-year-old France international. They would have got a substantial transfer fee for him, but he's gone on a free, and this is something that they need to address.
I find that incredible. Actually, you tell me that. Obviously, looking at what happened with Trent. Salah's contract was allowed to run. Virgil was the exact same. It's absolutely incredible. Listen, Dom, we had one of the boys on earlier on, a good call. I think it was Scott was his name. And he was a little bit concerned about maybe some of the character and some of the egos in and around the dressing room. Does he have a point?
Yeah, I can look. You can see where it's. You can absolutely see where fans are having misgivings about the way some of the players perhaps feel about the club. Maybe if the players spoke to you at length, they would tell you it's wrong. I wrote a piece in the Telegraph on Monday about James Milner. He's retired now.
Yeah.
And listen, I have to stress, it was an opinion. It was not sort of a story that I've gone looking for. But I think he would be a fabulous addition to the coaching staff in terms of just setting standards around the place, in terms of just being a bit narky, in terms of just collecting fines and letting people know what it means to play for Liverpool. That might sound a bit of a cliche to people, but I just think he's a great character. It would be an easy win early on for Areola. It would be a decision that would be probably well received if they do have talks eventually. And I think James would probably, given the depth of feeling that he has for the club, would be interested and would welcome a phone call maybe. But at the minute, I stress that he's concentrating on life with his family, wanting to play golf, and he's got other various interests and whatever. And we should be celebrating what a fabulous career he had.
Yeah, Dom, agree on all of those points. No one's got higher standards really than James Milner. Thank you very much, mate. Have a great day.
Good to see you, mate. All the best.
Always a pleasure, gents. See you soon.
Listen, just a quick one. I know we're going to a break.
Yeah.
I'm concerned I've just saw in the television screen in front of me the quality of Haiti's 4 goals.
Oh, no.
Wait to see them. They'll come up again and I'll give you the nod. I didn't want to interrupt
So
Don.
you're definitely going one up front then, aren't you?
No.
You definitely are.
As long as I've got Gannon, Don't Shank on my team, we'll take them.
By the way, Lee's just texted. He said, don't forget Alonso chose Madrid over Liverpool last year. Guys, no one likes sloppy seconds. Liverpool are bigger than that, Lee, I think. I think they're bigger than that. I think it's more an issue of control and how much Xabi Alonso would have wanted.
Yeah.
And how Andoni Iraola views things very, very differently. Coming up, we'll get more from Miami as England got their training underway in some tough conditions. This is talkSPORT Breakfast.
On the England front, then, are you? What do you make of the squad, and are you optimistic from looking at the 26?
I'm optimistic in terms of him maximising the potential to get to the latter stages, semi-finals, finals, possibly even winning. But the book is on whoever is the favourite should win. For me, France are the favourites. They're strong, technical, physical. They've got good balance between midfield, attack, defence. So for me, they're the favourites. But England can do well.
Yeah.
But what I would do, once again, very much like in club football, you talk about backing the manager. I can't have an opinion as to whether I think Cole Palmer and Phil Foden should have gone. Because if the manager says the way I'm going to play is not going to suit them and I want to have Morgan Rogers or Elliot Anderson, I can't say to him he's wrong and he should have taken them. And that's what England fans have to do. Believe in the manager and trust, rather than we love Phil Foden. But if he's not going to play in a way to suit them, we can't then say they should have gone.
Yeah.
You know, so I trust Tuchel. The only thing I'll say about that is that I don't think English players are very powerful, as we've seen. And Gareth was a perfect man for that job because Gareth, well, he's tough, but he will massage the egos and he won't shout and scream and take Harry Kane off if he needs taking off. He makes good decisions, whereas Tuchel is very combative. Now, will the players respond to that? If he then says, Bellingham, you're off, how are they going to respond to that type of thing? So as much as I think it's the right thing to do, are the English players responding to that kind of management? Which only time will tell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good point.
So I said at the start, you've rewritten, the rap has been rewritten from...
well, it's a bit of a... It was a bit of a play on words. They're not re-releasing it. It's not coming out. It's not going to go on Spotify. It's just for this Green King campaign. They're kind of... You know, you got to go on the on Green King social stream and see it. So it's not a re-releasing of the song or anything like that. If so, I would have probably gone try and get a bit of royalty this time around. You've got to hold your pint, but be there for kickoff time. You're here to back your team, but staying home is a crime. They'll always shouting and singing through defence and attack. You're always...
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Welcome to Miami. Bienvenido a Miami.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. 21 minutes past 8 o'clock if you're watching the clock, Wednesday, June the 3rd. Right, there's been a lot made of the inclusion of Jordan Henderson in England's World Cup squad over the likes of Adam Wharton or maybe Miles Lewis-Skellius, just to name two. Henry Winter has explained the decision to talkSPORT's Faye Carruthers out at England's training camp in Miami.
Driving standards, absolutely. I mean, you see him out there. I mean, he came across and he's played 89 times for England. He was here in 2012. I was here as well, when actually the conditions were pretty much like this, but thunderstorms were about to hit. So I think the fact that Jordan has been here before, he's played in these crazily hot conditions. He played for England against Italy in Manaus when England started the World Cup. This is his 4th World Cup. And I think that what he does is, by his commitment in training, by the fact he's probably one of the loudest England players I've ever heard, and the fact that his standards, they look at this 35-year-old, he turns 36 in the tournament. We can question, should he be here or should Adam Wharton be here? We've seen how well he's played recently. But I think the fact that these young players, and I know you spoke to Kobbie Mainoo as well, and Kobbie's a very committed player, so no question there. But the fact that they see Jordan, everything is about marginal games. He's won the Premier League, he's won the Champions League, and yet he goes out there and trains as if he's won nothing. He's got so much to prove.
Yeah, and I get that question. Look, I like Jordan Henderson. I think he was a revelation for Brentford, particularly in the first half.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's slightly strange that Henry should bring up the fact that, he was in the 2012 World Cup squad. We lost in the quarterfinals then, so that's not great recommendation. But should we really, how many leaders, how many people to set examples do we need?
Well, it's balance, isn't it? It's balance, because let's be honest about it, looking at it, Jordan's not going to start any major games, is he?
Why don't they take him as a member of the coaching staff?
That's exactly what I think. I don't.
Sorry, Mo. Jump in.
No. I think I said that last week. I wasn't sure whether, obviously, it wasn't yourself, it was Gabby I was on with someone. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I'd done. And by the way, let him train, let him be involved. And I know it's different because some of the players might look on him as being coaching staff, but having a liaison, having a go-between, a buffer, if you like, isn't a bad thing, because the majority of players, and Jordan himself will know that if England in the semi-final tomorrow, he's not playing, right? He has been a tremendous, I think, player, and I think what you talk about guys like Milner, who have been, exceptional in terms of their profession. I would bring Jordan Henderson in that category as well.
I agree with that.
I really would, and that's why it's understandable that Thomas Tuchel wants him in and around that squad. But to the detriment of somebody, a playing position, because I'm not sure it's an out-and-out playing position. That's where the questions, have to be asked, I think.
I just feel that, there are a lot of would-be leaders within that squad. There's a lot of experience. There's John Stones, Harry Kane, obviously Jordan Pickford's been in the England side for a long time as well.
I mean, the argument would be, are England going to get more benefit taking Jordan Henderson in that capacity, or would they get more benefit taking somebody like Cole Palmer, who perhaps could come off a bench and win them a game?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah, I completely agree. Michael in Teesside, by the way, just said to you, hi lads, Ali, I've just seen the Haiti New Zealand goals. Oh, dear me. There are some big boys in there as well.
Who's that message in there?
It was Michael from Teesside.
Just saw it myself, mate. I wouldn't say I'm running scared, Michael, but it's certainly given me food for thought.
Yeah, mind you, I've just got another text in there. I won't read it out word for word, but apparently the Haiti goalkeeper was indifferent. He didn't let any in, though, did he?
I was going to say, what a clean sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. OK, let's get the latest odds with Coral and Sam and Claire.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for rewarding the fans this Epsom Derby Festival. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Let's talk World Cup. Simon, good morning to you, first of all.
Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ali. Look, don't worry about Haiti. I've got the odds to reassure you and all Scottish listeners. Just put in context, to qualify from your group, Scotland are 1-3.
Wow.
And Haiti are 7-1. Haiti are favourites to finish bottom of the group. We've got to get up at 2 a.m, mind you, to watch Scotland-Haiti, that first game. I think it's a Sunday morning, the 14th of June.
Will you be doing that, Simon? Ali. Will you be doing that?
Simon, no. Don't let me down now.
I'm not entirely sure I will, to be honest, but I'll try. I'll try, Ali, for you. But Simon. Look, and just here's the odds: 4-9 Scotland, 7-2 the draw, 6-1 Haiti. So look, that's all, of course, before the traders have watched those 4 goals as well. So those odds could change.
Yeah. And you bookmakers have never, ever got anything wrong, have you?
No.
No, never, Jeff. No,
And
we're
you're
always
not going
right.
to start now, Simon. You're not going to start now.
Yeah.
although in the history of Scottish World Cup, disasters, you know, Ali, Haiti, the first game, 4-9, the one team you've got to beat to get through.
Simon,
Now, that's all I'm
if
saying.
memory serves me correctly, I was responsible for a couple of them.
But let's hope not. I mean, in terms of stage of elimination, Scotland are even money actually to be knocked out of the World Cup at the round of 32. 13-8 the group stage, and then maybe the real holy grail is to get through to that last 16 where they're 5-1 to be knocked out of, and then but anywhere beyond that would be dreamland. So I think look, it's looking to qualify through the group stage to the knockout stages is definitely attainable. Indeed, it's odds on.
Have you got, while I'm on it, Sam, have you got the World Cup odds, and you hopefully have, the 2 teams I was going to ask you about, one that we spoke about to great length yesterday was kind of Portugal, who, I wouldn't say they go under the radar, but, they never get mentioned in the same breath probably as teams that win it, like France, Spain and England. Portugal would be an interesting one. And I'm not saying this team will win it, but this other team I think might do quite well, and that would be Ecuador.
Interesting. Well, Portugal are 10-1. I mean, they're almost just everyone runs quickly through France and Spain, who are the favourites. England 13-2, and then the South American sides, Argentina and Brazil at 8-1. But Portugal are just behind them at 10-1. I think they're serious contenders. Looking down to Ecuador, 66-1. Why do you pick them out? Which is interesting.
I just think they've got some good, particularly good defenders. I really do. Pacho at PSG and Cape. Caicedo. I just think they've got good players. And, Simon, I think they finished quite well above Brazil in the qualifying group. So, I would put them down as one to watch, Simon.
Yeah, I mean, I thought if I looked at Colombia maybe at 40-1, who qualified well as well. Because, of course, if you look at World Cups outside of Europe and indeed the conditions we know we're going to face, it definitely tends to suggest South American sides do come to the fore. We know Brazil aren't the strongest Brazil. Yeah. Argentina, I think, clearly reigning champions. But you are looking for maybe those dark horses who might go deep into the tournament. And maybe, there we go. If people are listening and Ali, Ecuador gets the semis, they'll be playing this clip on talkSPORT.
You heard it here first. Just a quick one in the races, Simon. A bit of rain, obviously, hit Epsom the other day there for the Oaks. Aidan O'Brien's got a little bit concerned or two about Precise.
Yeah, look, Precise, I think, will be inconvenience for the Oaks, but then he's got the favourite, Amelia Urquhart, who'll be convenienced by it. Then in the Derby, Benvenuto Cellini might not really want the ground that soft. He's the 15-8 favourite, but of course Aidan O'Brien's got several other contenders. He's got Pierre Bernard, who looks like it'll love heavy ground.
Tom Marquand was singing up his chances this morning.
That's right. I think that Maltese Cross.
Yes.
He's got exactly.
I fancy Maltese Cross. Done absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It's Willie Haggis, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is William Haggis. And I mean, if you look, the Epsom's had a bad few years. The crowds have been falling. It's probably been, maybe the Jockey Club are taking their eyes off the ball. But their efforts this year are huge. They build new stands. They've been giving out tickets to the local community. They've got. I think they've teamed up with Frank Warren for the festival on the Downs. And so the only thing, I live about 5 miles from Epsom. The weather forecast is a bit grim, and that's one meeting where you really want the sun to shine. So maybe they'll get lucky. You never know. It's kind of showers. But there's a few good interesting horses. Maltese Cross, you mentioned, Jeff. Ancient Egypt for the Charlie Johnston team, Bay of Brilliance for Rafe Beckett, an Item for Andrew Balding and those Judd Monty colours. I think for all Aidan O'Brien, huge respect to him and the Coolmore team, but they've won this race, I think, about 10 times. It'd be good this year to have an Andrew Balding or a John Gosden or a Charlie Johnston.
Of course it would. The more it rains, the more I'm drifting away from Benvenuto Cellini. That's for
good.
Simon, thank you very much.
Thanks, Simon. Have a good day, mate.
And that was a look at the latest odds with Coral 18 plus gambleaware.org. Kyle texted in and said, Ali, I wouldn't have taken Henderson as a player either, but Wharton wouldn't play any more than Henderson, would he? Which is an interesting point. Coming up, former heavyweight boxer Tony Bellew is with us.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for rewarding the fans this Epsom Derby Festival. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
When you guys won it in '98, the double, did you evolve after that?
We knew
or
that
did you stay the same?
we wanted to play offensive football, you know, because for me, I totally agree with you, Simon. I will probably add something, you know, that for me is very important. You cannot play next season the same way because I think the pressure will be high, you know, in the medias, but as well from the fans, even from the Arsenal fans. Everybody is very happy and very proud of winning the Premier League this season, but we are a little bit frustrated in terms of the way they play. So for me, the most important, except the fans and the press, is the players. Do you think the players are very happy to play the way they did? Even thinking that they were leading the score against Paris Saint-Germain, even thinking that Paris Saint-Germain is the best team in the world, that there is no shame to defend against this team because they are such good players, you know. But do you think that Arsenal, the players, will be happy to do exactly the same thing next season? You have to enjoy what you're doing on the pitch. This is the best way of winning things.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, something's going to break, you know, into the team.
Would you have enjoyed playing like Arsenal play?
This way?
Yeah.
If I won the Champions League, of course. But they didn't. They won the Premier League, so they have something in their mind thinking, we did what we had to do to win the Premier League. But are you happy the way you they will say, yeah, very proud of defending, but in the meantime, Arsenal is not this. Arsenal is something different.
Yeah.
So
over the last few years, Formula One has gone from elitist and insular to a global entertainment brand. The transformation's down to American investment group Liberty Media, who cultivated a new image for the sport since buying it in 2016. Better access to drivers, improved content on social media, and tapping into the US market have given F1 a massive boost in both attention and revenues. But is everyone happy? The fans certainly are, as evidenced by Drive to Survive. Almost 7 million people per season have tuned in to get all the gossip and all the drama from the paddock. The extra exposure means the drivers can demand a higher salary too. In 2010, the top drivers were earning $20 million a year, which isn't bad. But now, the very best earn 3 times that, with Max Verstappen getting a whopping $65 million in 2025. But money doesn't always buy happiness. Some drivers, including Verstappen, don't like the pageantry the changes have brought about. In Las Vegas in 2023, Verstappen said the drivers were made to look like clowns, and the event was 99% performance and 1% race. Some purists who still watch the sport feel the same, and that the spirit of competition has suffered. But Formula One and Liberty Media don't look like slowing down anytime soon. So expect more races, major events and exclusive access in future.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ali McCoist and Arnold Clark. We're celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June, you'll be entered into their weekly draw to win the cost of it back. What's your reaction to British women being the angriest in Europe, Coisty?
Not as surprised as 1 or 2 in here, I have to inform you.
Yeah. I tell you what, if we Vivid had heard you talking about Susie Quattro and Debbie Harry earlier on, she would definitely qualify for the angriest women in Europe.
That's a remarkable stat. That is an absolutely remarkable stat.
Brilliant. Right.
That made us laugh, didn't it?
It did. Fantastic story. The AO Arena in Manchester throwing a massive party to celebrate Ricky Hatton's life. It's a proper Ricky-style party, if you like, live music and comedy. Sports people like Freddie Flintoff will be there. Paddy McGuinness is going along too. Be lots and lots of celebrities there. It's at the venue, of course, that hosts a lot of Ricky's fights as well. Now, all the money that's going to be raised is going to charity. Tickets are available at aoarena.com. And the arena's going to have a ring set up on the night, and the boxing guests, they'll all be coming into some walk-on music. And one of them will be former Cruiserweight World Champion Tony Bellew. Morning, Tony.
Morning, Tony. How are you?
Morning, guys. I've got my wife said. She said she can completely agree with that. It's one of the only things she's agreed with me in years.
Brilliant.
So
fantastic. It was a great story. I'm keeping a very low profile on this.
I notice you're pretty non-committal on this one, Jeff.
I'm
You're
not
sitting on that fence,
I
Tony.
am not going there at all. I'm going home later today, so I'm not going there on this story.
petrified, absolutely petrified.
I am, mate. You know. Look, tell us a bit about this event then.
Sounds a great night, Tony.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing, lads. It's a celebration of Ricky's life. The guys come on to me and ask me would I want to be a part of it. And I mean, everybody knew what Ricky meant to everybody in Britain, not just me. And there's people who will have known him far better than me. I had the luxury of spending time being around and watching him train. Do you know what, lads? In all the years I've been fighting, in all the gyms and the boxes I've been around over the years, he's the only fighter I could.
We've lost him.
Losing him, mate.
We've lost him.
Losing him.
That was a shame. We need to try and get him back. We're going to try and get him back.
Yeah.
But isn't it amazing? I mean, I'm just looking at that, obviously, before Tony came on there. It's still bizarre to think that the wee man's away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's absolutely tragic, the circumstances. But I had him on. He was on. Ricky was on Question of Sport on numerous occasions, and see what Tony was saying there. What a character!
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, always full of live beans, put a smile on people's faces. Brilliant he was.
And you tell you what, you know, great cause this, by the way.
Of course it is.
But regardless of the cause, the AO Arena should be packed out for anything that involves Ricky Hatton, because he was an amazing. He transcended boxing.
Yeah,
you know, he was an amazing.
Absolutely,
figure.
absolutely. Remember, he took all those supporters over to was it Vegas for that? Was it Mayweather?
Yeah.
Incredible.
We got Tony back. Tony, tell us a bit more. We just lost you halfway through there.
Sorry, lads. Apologies. Yeah, what I was saying is, I mean, I had the pleasure of training around Ricky and being and watching him in the gym with Billy Graham, Kerry Kays, Bobby. It was unbelievable. The team they had at the time there was, you know, Matthew Hatton, Michael Gomez, Anthony Farnell, Paul Smith, Matthew Macklin. It was such a ferocious and vibrant gym, guys. It was unbelievable. But watching Ricky train, in all the years I've been around boxing gyms and all the fights that I've been around, it's the only one. I watched him train and I was in awe of him. I just thought, that's the standard. Thought he was unbelievable. Everything he done, whether he was jumping 10 rounds a bar in the gym, then going to lift weights after that with Kerry Kays, just everything he done in the gym, it was perfect. He was unbelievable. I mean, the guy even partied perfect. He knew how to party as well. So he was just, everything he done was amazing. And he was just such a man of the people. You've got to think, we're never going to see a fighter as supported as him ever again. I'm telling you this now. This fella took 30,000 Mancunians over to Vegas. Lads, the stadium only held 10.
Amazing.
It's just
amazing.
It's insane. It really is. He took over Vegas. He's a phenomenon, and he's never, ever going to be forgotten. And I think the most important thing that comes out of this is we all learn the messages that basically Rick's left us. Men have got to start talking, guys.
Yeah. Without doubt. Tony, we're moving on, if I may. It seems crazy to move on after that, because what a man he was, there's no doubt about it. Move on, if I may, talk about the potential, obviously, for AJ versus Fury. They've obviously a couple of warm-up fights. Regarding the warm-up fights, would the recent fight that Usyk had be a little bit of a warning to everyone?
Do you know what, lad? I was at the presser on Monday. And I'm not going to lie, someone mentioned he was a former kickboxing world champion.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Eddie Hearn get so flustered and so hot under the collar for a long, long time. As soon as kickboxing was mentioned, after what's happened with Rico Verhoeven and Usyk, Eddie looked like he was having a panic attack.
It was some performance, Tony, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, listen, it was unbelievable. And I'm sick of hearing people saying, oh, Usyk's past it and, you know, he's this and that. Give the fella his credit. We all got it wrong. None of us seen it coming. Just hold your hands up and give Rico Verhoeven credit because he deserves it. He got in there and he nearly done what none of us, any of the other ones could do. And we've all spent our lives in boxing. So this fella's come in after 5 minutes and he's given the toughest fight of his career. So fair play to him. I've just got to hold my hands up. I got it wrong. I never seen that coming. And I'm not going to lie, if we have a rematch, I don't think that'll happen again. But you cannot knock him. What he done was amazing.
A quick word on Everton, Tony, being strongly linked with Hayden Hackney. It sounds like Hayden Hackney wants to go to Everton. I know Jamie O'Hara said he wouldn't be welcome at Tottenham. They don't want championship players. Would you be happy with Hayden Hackney signing for Everton?
Little Legs has got a cheek. I mean, they were nearly in the championship. He's got an absolute cheek, that fella. Jesus Christ, oh my word, the cheek of that man. Do you know what, lads? If David Moyes wants him, then I want. It's as simple as that. Everton Football Club, we've got to back David Moyes. It's the most important time of our club's history for a long time now. You know, we've done what we're supposed to do this season. We've had a comfortable season. Relegation's never been thought about for one single minute. It's tailed off and it's been heartbreaking, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I didn't really want to talk about Everton because I'm still trying to get over the last 8 games. Europe was on, lads. It was in our hands. We were doing a great job. And it just fell to the side. And it's heartbreaking for fans. You know, I just want to take my kids around Europe because David Moyes now shown if he gets into Europe, David Moyes can win a European trophy. Everton Football Club, with all due respect, are a bigger football club, West Ham. If he can do it at West Ham and get top 8 finishes consistently, get into Europe, win a trophy, he can do it at Everton again.
You've just lit the blue touch paper, Tony. You've lit the blue touch paper. Everton are a bigger club than West Ham. You know, stand by for the call.
Tony, just a quick one. What golf course are you playing today?
Do you know what, champ? I played Stoke Park yesterday in London. I was at the Manners Golf Day.
Brilliant.
And we done all right. We played a 4-ball scramble and we finished 5 under.
Not bad.
And we walked in, and this is not a joke. The winner was like, I think it was 15 under, and I just went, what are you playing at?
No, I know. Wow.
It was me, Andy Cole, and Lockie, and Craig, who's one of the managers at Mayfield. And we played great. We done all right, but you just walk in, there's bandits everywhere. I'm not having it. 16 under between 40s. I thought the prize was like the lottery. You know what I mean? What's the point in cheating? 16 under. I've seen a pig fly as well, straight over the 18th green. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Tony, brilliant as usual.
Right,
thanks, mate.
Pal. Take care.
Always a pleasure. As many people we can talk about Ricky Hatton and this.
Enjoy your night, mate. Absolutely.
So thanks, mate. Ricky's celebration party, by the way, the celebration of the life of Ricky Hatton, June the 7th, and tickets available at the aoarena.com, and all the money's raised are for Mind and the Hatton Foundation and City in the community. Big thanks to Tony Bellew there. If you love your boxing, massive run of DAZN Saturday night fights coming up this weekend in Sheffield. Josh Padley defends European gold.
Absolutely. And on June the 13th, live from Manchester, Eddie Hall will face Tommy Fury in a heavyweight showdown featuring a remarkable £100 weight difference. That comes after pound-for-pound star Jesse Bam Rodriguez returns in Arizona on the same day, aiming to make history by becoming a 3-weight world champion.
Join DAZN Ultimate and watch Josh Padley and 12+ pay-per-views a year, including Fury against Hall next weekend at no extra cost. Just one quick text. We were talking about how a survey says the British women are amongst the angriest in Europe. I'm going to risk reading this out.
Good luck.
It comes from Andy. It said Shabana Hurd wouldn't be included in the angriest women by any chance, would she? Shabana, if you're listening, that was from Andy.
We'll give you Andy's number later, Shaban.
We'll turn our attention back to Southampton, where the Tonda Eckert staying in charge is what the fans want. That's next.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
right now, what he's complaining about, or saying he's suffering from, is a section of the fans having a go. No, I don't know why they're doing it, and it might just simply be because he's the best player in the world, and it might simply be that it goes with the territory, and it might also be because he is a little bit cocky. And it might be that. And if he wants to exude that personality, which I don't know if he does or doesn't, you go with the territory. He is young. I accept that. And I accept that it comes with a degree of experience that can say, let it go over your head.
But it's quite sad, though, when he says the reception he got in Rotterdam, because he was playing the Dutchman Van Veen, was the worst I have experienced. But his mindset going forward was, I'll just expect the worst. I mean, that is quite sad for a 19-year-old.
Well, what does he want? Okay, what does he want then? Unadulterated love?
How about the crowd behaving themselves?
But that's not. You can't control the crowd. You can't control the way that people react to you.
I mean, we all hear the darts is fun, and they all get into all their fancy dress. It's fun. It's a laugh. It's wonderful being there. How about also reining it in
for the purpose of this conversation? We could say that across a variety of sports, couldn't we? For the purpose of this conversation, is there any reason, in your mind's eye, whilst you're advancing the case of great sympathy for him, is there any reason why the crowd have gone against him?
Well, because of his altercation that he's had with Van Veen.
Okay.
And he's in Van Veen's territory, Rotterdam.
So he's a big boy that can take the mickey out of these opponents by giving it they're crybabies.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling, Ally McCoist, as we're here through till 10 o'clock. It's 8:51 right now. Simon in Bournemouth says, always love listening to Tony Bellew. Expect Jamie O'Hara struggled to swallow his soft-boiled eggs and soldiers, if you heard that. Thank you very much indeed, Simon. It has been, well, this is an understatement really, isn't it? A crazy few weeks for Southampton. Kicked out of the playoffs for spying, point deduction to come next season. Saints owner Dragon Solak has said that he won't be sacking manager Tonda Eckert. Eckert took full ownership for Spygate yesterday and explained on the club's Twitter account just what had happened.
When I worked in Italy for over 4 years, every starting lineup that we've chosen for the games was always out in the media before games. And the reason is that our training sessions, especially the ones before games, have always been observed from media and have always been observed from opponent teams that we came up against. Guardiola has spoken about this at his time at Bayern Munich, that it has been common practice in Germany to observe training sessions, knowing that other teams would do the same. I don't want to say this to excuse anything that we have done. I just want to give you context in the way that I grew up in the football world. There's different rules in England. There's different rules from the EFL. And I should have known them.
The Southampton PR machine trundling into life yesterday, I think it's safe to say. I'd like to say ITV Racing host, huge Saints fan, Ed Chamberlain joins us now. Morning, Ed.
Ed, good morning. How are you?
Hey, chaps. Jeff, great to see you.
You too, mate. Been a long time.
I know.
Do you want to see Tonda Eckert in charge next season?
I didn't initially. I have softened significantly since then. I think everybody deserves a second chance. As you say, hearing from them yesterday, some people would argue was long overdue. But the truth is, in this modern day, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. People were baying to hear from them. And then when they do hear from them, you get stick for that as well. So it's such a difficult situation. I was really interested to listen to Simon Jordan yesterday, Jeff, him talking the situation from an owner's point of view. And listen, maybe he and we have been punished enough. We wait to see what the FA are going to do, but my stance has definitely softened.
I was going to ask you then, Ed, what, and is that kind of synonymous with the rest of the Saints fans that I spoke with them? Because obviously when it happened, the vast majority of them, or the ones that you heard, were angry, and rightly so, and upset, a lot of money spent and all that kind of stuff. What is the general feeling now? Is it pretty similar to yourself, that things have calmed down a little bit?
I think so. There's lots of differing opinion, as you can imagine, Ali. And listen, a lot of people disagree, and the papers have been difficult to read this morning. But I can only speak as a Saints fan and someone who's loved the club for more than 50 years. And the way it felt for me and my family, who are all Saints as well, Ali, is a little bit like the best analogy I can find, because there isn't one in football, because this is unprecedented, really, because it's very different to what happened to Leeds. It's a little bit like do you remember when Steve Smith and David Warner were caught cheating with that sandpaper? Yep. I think that was in about 2017, 2018. And it's a little bit like the punishment for that being, for Australia, them having to forfeit that series against South Africa, them being chucked out of an Ashes series the following year against England, with fans maybe having bought flights already, and them feeling the pain for years to come as a team, if you like, as well as the individuals. And that's how it feels to me as a Southampton fan, because we're going to be feeling the pain from this for years to come. And I'm so sad for the fans, really, who've suffered so much. And, you know, my lad's most upset about the fact we're going to probably lose Cienza, Harwood Bellis, Yander and others as well.
Yeah. Do you think that what will inevitably happen at grounds next season, actually probably whether Tondra Eckert's in charge or not, what will inevitably happen next season will prove a distraction on the field, Ed?
I'm not sure about that, Jeff. I'm not sure about that, because it sounds like the players are really backing him from what you're hearing. And I like what the owner said yesterday. I really did. I thought that was really a really good listen. It's going to be really difficult. But I think there's a tight bond there. I've got a lot of faith in the hierarchy at Southampton, Jeff. And it's a club you know well. I mean, I used to love the fact we were almost your second team in our days working together. And you know, we've been such a popular club for so many years. You'd never associate this with us, and you just hope it blows over. But there's no getting away from it. It's going to be difficult, and it's inevitable other teams are going to relish it, aren't they?
Ed, moving swiftly on, if I may, to...
Yes, please, Ali. Yes, please.
The derby. We're looking forward to the derby. I mean, the domination of Ballydogle has been absolutely incredible. And I'm just reading the other day, today, I think they've already had 5 classics in the last month, and they've got the first 2 of the first 3 favourites in the race. Can you see anything other than another Ballydogle victory?
Possibly. I think their best 3-year-old colt, Ali, ran in France at the weekend. And that, if you're a football fan or anything, watch that for a tactical masterclass from the O'Brien team. Their attention to detail, Ali, is incredible. We're witnessing something special with what Aidan O'Brien's doing. And what will happen this weekend will happen. The news story really is going to be off the track itself and on the hill and the crowd. And it's all about this year, Ali. Whoever wins the derby, it's all about the occasion. And they're doing amazing things at Epsom, because last year I got a bit of stick for it. I described it as desolate on the hill last year. The weather wasn't great, but it just wasn't a great occasion. This year, the Jockey Club are doing amazing things, throwing everything at it, investing £6 million in trying to bring the derby back to where it should be. And at ITV, we're fully behind that, Ali. And I think the story on Sunday and Monday morning might not necessarily be about Aidan if he's won a 12th derby. It'll be about what the occasion was like, what the hill looked like, the aesthetics of it. And I don't think the Jockey Club could do much more. They can't control Mother Nature, unfortunately. The weather forecast doesn't look great, but come if you can, because I think the derby is going to look like a derby of old. And that's what we really want this year.
Well, it's a window of opportunity, that's for sure, because racing very much back in vogue with younger people
100%
at the moment as well.
Yeah. And Frank Warren's involved, Jeff, with Queensbury, and, you know, racing traditionalists might not like some of it. Things like the Derby Fest, and there's Pixie Lot playing after the race on Saturday. There's a lot going on. And just like our ethos at ITV, Jeff, Derby Day needs to be for everybody. There's got to be something for everybody there, whether you want to go there in top hat and tails or you just want to have fun and a picnic. And this year it is there for everyone.
I've said it before, mate, the coverage is different class. I know I'm slightly biased, but it is, mate. I really mean that.
Yeah, and Ed, obviously, I completely concur. We'll be watching, pal.
Enjoy.
Have a great,
Thank you, chaps.
have a
Great
great
to see
couple
you.
of days. You too, Ed. Take care, mate.
See you, mate.
What a good bloke he is, by the way, as well. He's also a brilliant presenter. He's become an absolutely outstanding presenter.
I've got to say
and
that.
so at home and I mean, it's easy to forget that at one stage Ed was presenting Premier League.
Yeah.
Sky.
Oh, I know.
You know, and he took a big leap of faith to go and present you racing, his first love. And my goodness, how it's paid off.
Oh, he's grabbed it with both hands, knowledgeable, articulate, funny.
Yeah,
warm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All of those things. All of those things that we're not.
All those things we're dying to be.
Yeah, we aspire to, don't we? Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
We'll be joined live by Ali's biggest fans, the Scottish rock band Biffy Clyro, who promised him something a bit special. Ali will find out about that in, around half an hour's time or so. And we're just a week away from the World Cup. Myself and Ali will be doing our World Cup predictions very shortly. Golden Boot, biggest flops, and, of course, the winners. That was our breakfast preview with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With pay-as-you-go hire from Travis Perkins, you can get straight on with the job. Available nationwide at all hire branches.
In the penalty shootout, Emmanuel, it struck me to ask you, were you surprised that Gabriel
a little bit
stepped
yeah
up?
Yeah, I was surprised because I saw, for example, one player. I don't want to blame them. I don't want to point finger at them, but when I see Zubimendi, he's a European champion. He's got character and personality, and the guy just came into the game. He's fresh, mentally and physically. You know what it means to take a penalty at the end of the season like that. It's so hot, So many players were having cramp, during the game. So it was an exhausting season for both teams. And all of a sudden, this guy came into at the end of the game. He's fresh. He didn't take. You see the central defender. This is not typical for central defender to take a penalty shot.
Yeah. The other penalty you were not happy with was Eze's penalty. I know we don't want to hammer the guy, but
football is already difficult, so make it simple. I don't understand why all those guys, is it fashionable? I have no idea. But, I'm very annoyed every time I see someone trying to make a stick, before kicking the ball. He stopped the run, and then all of a sudden he do something. Why don't you do a push-up before you take your chance? I mean, just...
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ali McCoist and Arnold Clark. Buy a used car in their upgrade event and get 2 years free servicing plus the chance to win the cost of it back this June. And now the biggest festival in world football kicks off very shortly. Indeed, that's where we start. The World Cup just 8 days away.
The World Cup bandwagon rolls on.
This World Cup will by far take soccer to the next stage in America.
Just love it. Love every moment because it is a beautiful game.
Lionel Messi pens the ultimate ecstatic chapter to complete his already extraordinary story.
They give us the faith to believe in these kind of things again.
Let the history unfold.
It comes to Vinicius Junior. 1-0.
Mbappe has a hat-trick. He has his place in history.
We are among probably the best team in the world.
A wonder goal from the Wonder Kids, Lamine Yamal.
Teams win championships. It's as simple as that.
Hey! 1-0 England.
Hamden can hardly believe it, but what a night this is for Scotland.
Every game's big in the World Cup.
You want Mr. Single Game Goal or Incident over the next month and a half. TalkSport bringing you all 104 games from the USA, Mexico and Canada. Now, today is the last show that Ali and I get to do together before it all kicks off. So we're going to do some predictions.
We are.
Let's start with the outright winners, Coisty. Don't go for Scotland. Certainly not after Haiti won 4-0 against New Zealand last night.
I think I'll find it's my pick, and I'm entitled to go who I want to go for. But you'll be delighted. You'll be delighted and not so shocked to hear that I'm not going for Scotland.
Okay.
I think it's 4 years too early for us.
Took a moment or two for that to
I thought that. I was looking for a quicker reaction than that.
Stunned into silence.
No major surprises. I am going for, I think they're actually second favourites. I'm going for France, who in recent World Cups have got a phenomenal record. Obviously won it in the 2000, what was it, 2002, oh dear me, it was 18, yeah. In Qatar, and then beaten finalists in one of the best finals we've ever seen. And I just think, I look at their squad, oh dear me, there's talented players all over it, obviously, but I'm going to go for France just to share it ahead of Spain.
Okay.
And yourself?
Yeah, well, look, no team's defended the trophy since 1962.
I know.
Which might make you think my choice is illogical, but Argentina are the defending champions. I'm going for them. They won their South American qualifying group by 10 points. They battered Brazil. I don't understand how Brazil are the same price as them in the betting. And just look at the lineup, they've got a gimme group, an absolute gimme of a group, with Algeria and Australia and Jordan. They've got Emi Martinez in goal, one of the best keepers in the world.
Might be the best goal in one of the best.
Yeah, and then whatever you think, Cristiano Romero, when he pulls an Argentina shirt, he's a different player. Lisandro Martinez, Tagliafico, Lautaro Martinez, Alexis McAllister, Enzo Fernandez, Julian Alvarez. Oh yeah, and there's the little bloke Lionel Messi as well.
Oh, here's my question to you regarding the little bloke. I've already voiced my concerns regarding Portugal's bigger bloke.
Yes.
Do you think Portugal's bigger bloke will be a problem to Portugal more than Argentina's wee bloke will be to Argentina? Because it's another 4 years, and I don't care what MD says, time catches up on everybody.
Absolutely.
And they absolutely won that World Cup deservedly, but Messi was completely, in many ways understandably, treated completely differently as the rest of the outfield players.
Yeah.
That'll have to be, probably more so this tournament. And I think that might come back to bite him as well.
Maybe, and obviously goes into it. I think he had a little knock as well, but Scaloni knows him well, has handled him well over the years. So look, it's a possibility. My biggest question mark over Argentina, I think the only reason they can be sort of 8-1 is that depending on how things pan out, they might play Uruguay in the last 32. Marcelo Bielsa's Uruguay.
Yeah.
Okay, and just the fact they are arch local rivals, that would worry me a little bit. But now I'm going to go for Argentina. I'd certainly give a mention to Portugal as well.
Yes.
They could have a terrific tournament too. Golden Boot, what are you thinking?
I actually think it's a two-horse race.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Kane and Mbappe.
Okay.
And as I've gone for, I had Mbappe to finish top scorer.
Mbappe and who?
Kane.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry, Kane. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I had Mbappe to finish top scorer in the Champions League. It's just to give everybody predictions for that one as well. I had Mbappe to win the Champions League, Villa to win the Europa, Palace to win the Conference, and PSG to win the Champions League. Just, if you could spare me the trumpet blowing there. And I'm going to go for Mbappe. I think, as I say, I think it's a two-horse race. I think the top scorer will, not always, but I think it obviously helps massively when they take penalties.
Of course.
Both of them will do that. Would it surprise me? The main reason I'm not going for Harry Kane, or the only reason, I beg your pardon, probably is the one that I mentioned earlier in the show. I think if Thomas Tuchel has an opportunity to rest him and bench him for potentially bigger games in the tournament, I think he'll do that.
Yeah. But I think I mentioned earlier on, it's important England win their group. So I don't think I'd see Kane playing most of the minutes in this tournament. Mbappe, obvious choice, came second favourite. I'm going to go for the third horse in the two-horse race. I'm going to go for Julian Alvarez.
Okay.
So I've gone for Argentina.
Yeah, I get it. It's natural.
You know, he'll start every game. I don't think there's any question about that. He could fill his boots, literally, in those group stages when I look at the sides who are in their group, you know, Algeria, Australia, and Jordan. He's a sought-after property. I'll tell you what, I think that price will have gone up.
Yeah.
After this World Cup, because I can see him having a fantastic World Cup.
I wouldn't disagree. I mean, there's good value elsewhere. I mean, obviously Haaland 14-1, but you worry about how many games he's going to play. The other ones that come in, Yamal 16-1.
Yeah.
There's definitely goals there. There's also goals in Dembele.
Yeah.
20-1. So there's value if you want to sniff about, but as I say, I think it's probably a two-horse race.
Yeah. Let's just squeeze in, shall we, before we go to a break in this part. Best overperformer. Who do you think might who's the best outsiders, basically?
Well, it's difficult to say. You know, you look at Morocco, for example. Would that be a big surprise, having reached the last semi-final? I don't know if they're massive overachieving, but I think they'll go well again. But I'll mention the team that I mentioned earlier on, that'd be Ecuador. I think they're kind of slightly going under the radar. I think they've got some excellent players. I think they're a good qualifying campaign, and I think they'll do well.
Yeah. Senegal for me, if they keep their heads, they are 66-1.
Yeah.
66-1 for a squad that include Mane and Nicholas Jackson, Ilman Ndiaye, Ismail Assar, Idrissa Gueye, Koulibaly, El Hadj Malik Diouf. They're in a group with France, Norway and Iraq. Now, on the face of it, quite difficult. Playing France first, I think that's a good time to play them because sides are cagey in their opening games. They pick up a point against France. They're qualified comfortably. They're the second highest ranked African side, just Morocco ranked above them. And of course, we also what they can do in the African Cup of Nations, and we also what we don't want them to do in the African Cup of Nations, and that's lose their heads. But if they don't, I think that's a massive... One day an African nation is going to make a massive breakthrough.
Would you not consider that the last tournament?
Semi-finals?
Yeah.
But I mean going further. I mean getting to a final.
Well, I think inevitably it will happen. I think Pele said it and was probably a bit premature with his prediction, but I definitely think it will happen. I'm not sure the world's just ready for it yet.
Okay. Well, we shall see.
We're looking forward to it, aren't we?
Yeah, well, very much so, very much so. Coming up, we'll tell you who we think will be the biggest flops of the tournament. That's next. Joining us now, presenter, huge Arsenal fan, Joel Baer. Morning, Joel. Sorry to put you through that again.
Morning, Dean. Morning, Jeff. You know what? I'm here to launch an attack on them too.
Good. Are you?
Gabby and Cundy, because I don't understand how you can be on radio representing the people who love football, and that's what you come out with. They came to work wearing PSG shirts. I was in Budapest enjoying the game. I look at my timeline and it's them dancing around, celebrating. Cundy, your team, you love Chelsea, but you played for Ipswich, mate. That's where you had the majority of your appearances, Ipswich Football Club. Gabby, you played for Aston Villa. You love Thierry Henry. You told me yourself last week. Where has it gone wrong? Why is it that there's so much hate for Arsenal? Where's this come from? I mean, what do you think when you sit there and you look at it, Jeff?
No, I was embarrassed by that. Because domestically, well, not domestically, of English clubs, Arsenal have unquestionably had the best, the most successful season. You know, they've won the Premier League. They've been within a spot kick of winning the Champions League as well. Personally, I don't particularly enjoy the way they play, but you cannot deny they have been the best side this season.
100%. It's been effective. If you want to go down to the stats, you know, I had the chance to be on the Budapest show the other day. PSG have scored 45 goals this Champions League campaign. They've conceded 23. We minimalised them to just a penalty. We had a fantastic game plan. I don't see how you can be on this panel and you're celebrating and cheering and saying that football has won.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. It's 19 minutes, 20 past 9 in actual fact right now. Talking about our World Cup predictions, it's just a few days away. Coist is heading out there very shortly indeed. Let's move on to who you think will be the biggest letdowns, the biggest flops of the tournament, Ali. Greeno has already made us suggest his biggest flops. Scotland and England. He said easy won that.
Greeno's never short of opinion. You know? And for that one, we'd far rather you kept that one yourself, mate. Thank you very much, though. I'd say Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, you know, that kind of generation's gone. They still get some fantastic players. I actually don't think, when I've said Belgium, and I also don't think, and this is where I might be wrong, I'm not sure any of the host nations will do really, really well. Canada got some great players, USA obviously at home, but it's funny, and I know for the tournament's sake, generally speaking, it is good to have one of the host nations or the host nation doing well. I'm not sure any of the host nations will do well, Jeff.
Well, you know, the Americans will expect success. I don't see it happening. Not with the sort of results they had, until recently.
I mean, Belgium, I think, a relatively easy group. But in terms of going far in the tournament, I'm not so sure. What about yourself?
They won in Croatia last night, by the way, didn't they?
Against Croatia. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to get this out there.
Yuri Tillemans and Lukaku still playing.
I know.
Scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, okay, I agree with you about the USA, and Dino texted to say exactly the same. Biggest flop of the tournament, I'm going to call it, will be the USA, overhyped, not good enough. And I agree with you, actually, Dino. Sweden shouldn't be there, didn't win a single game in qualifying. But for me, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Biggest flops, Germany. They're good. They've got a sort of gimme group. I know you've got Ecuador in, but Ivory Coast, well, Ivory Coast can be useful as well, and Curacao. But I look at this German squad, it's a million miles off what squads used to be. You know, Voldemar and Wirtz, who both had terrible seasons, really. You know, and they'll both start for the Germans. Pascal Gross will probably start for Germany as well. I love him as a footballer, but, you know, he's going to slow things down. And obviously, it's not going to be played at a million miles an hour anywhere. Some of the performances in qualifying, less than great. It's Northern Ireland and Slovakia. And yet they're on a winning run at the moment, but the quality of their opposition's been not great. But the principal reason principal reason, aside from all of that, is the chances are they'll play France in the last 16. And that would be that. As far as I'm concerned.
Well, I look at the German squad, and I'm with you. I think there's some talented players, but unlike a lot of German sides, I don't think it's a great team. It's not a specific German side you'd go, and be scared of. I do take that point, yeah. Belgium's an interesting one. I'm not sure. De Bruyne and, at the back, they're not as strong as they were.
You do think the sort of golden generation are past their best.
That's what I think.
You have to, don't you? How far will England and Scotland go? Let's start with Scotland, Coisty.
I think we'll go out of the group.
Yeah.
I'd love to see us. I mean, the dream scenario would be last 16. That would be an absolute dream. My gut feeling would maybe tell me 32, but I'm, looking at where we've been in previous World Cups, getting out the group is clearly achievable.
Yeah,
clearly achievable. No matter those 4 goals which I saw up the screen again 2 minutes ago, and then we take it from there. Just to be involved, I'd really love to be involved. It's never happened in a knockout game with Scotland at the World Cup.
I think you will be. This time, I think you will be.
It would just be amazing.
Yeah. Despite the brilliance of how you did against New Zealand, I still think that I think Scotland will get through. And I said yesterday, I think they might upset Brazil. I don't think Brazil are going to be so great this time round either. I'm not saying they're going to beat Brazil, but they might be able to nick a point if they need to nick a point.
Where are we with England?
Okay, I'm a little England at the final.
Yeah.
I think, if we can afford to leave the likes of Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Morgan Gibbs, White, and a lot of others, Lewis Hall at home, then we must have a pretty darned good squad. And I think if we don't make the final, it will be... And I know people will accuse me of English arrogance. You're probably right, but if we don't make the final, it'll be a disappointment.
I don't think you'll make the final. I think if you make the semi-final, you'll do well. My gut feeling would say quarters, but I don't see you getting past the semi. I just think there's better teams. I mean, listen, the best team doesn't always win the tournament. I get that, particularly a knockout tournament. But I just think there's better teams more equipped than England to win it. And I would say semis at a push, probably quarters.
Okay. Fraser and Andy have both expressed the same opinion. Here, Fraser, who was rooting for Scotland, of course, in terms of flops, I can see Holland falling short again. Big disappointment in the last few years. And Andy says biggest flop of the tournaments, the Netherlands. Always look like a good team on paper, never really do much. Dark horse Norway. Been a lot of money for Norway recently. I think they've been back down from 66 to 1 to something like 25 to 1. But, I don't see it.
Neither did I.
Don't see it, but...
Maybe I'm missing some. Get quicker on the Netherlands. I mean, that purple patch period when they probably should have won one, 74 and 78, the wonderful teams they had then. Then they got to the final, obviously, in South Africa. But I do take the point, they probably do. Well, I nearly used the word underachieve. For a nation that size, they actually probably overachieve.
Look, let's leave the World Cup for a moment or two and just reflect on the managerial merry-go-round, which seems to be in full swing. Let's get a quick update from our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Morning, Crookie.
Good morning, Crookie.
Good morning. Getting excited now. This time next week, I'll be jetting off to the States.
Yeah, all right. Don't rub it in.
We all are, mate.
No, we're not.
Oh, no, sorry, we're not.
We're not all jetting off to the
Crookie, we nearly all are.
There is a problem, though, Ali. I've been packing this morning. I'm not sure I've got enough pairs of pants.
Too much information.
You mean you're not sure you can get into them? That's what you mean.
So, Crookie, where are we with Fulham?
Obviously, the big news yesterday, I think we all saw it coming. Marco Silva departing after 5 years. I'm told that Kieran McKenna is very much a top target. I'm told actually McKenna is open to the idea of leaving Ipswich for a more established Premier League team. But it's a difficult deal to do because his release clause increased to £8 million when Ipswich won promotion back to the Premier League. And obviously that's a big outlay for any club. It always amazes me that clubs pay the earth for players, but don't really like paying for managers. So we'll see what develops there. Thomas Frank, you've been talking about, I think he's keen to come back to work as well and would seem a good fit. Liam Rosenior was a big target of Fulham before when they were preparing for Silva's departure. Obviously, he's gone to Chelsea and didn't last very long there, but doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad manager. So I think he's one to keep an eye on as well.
Interesting, Limerick with his Fulham connections, of course.
Yeah.
I think you can't judge him on just what happened at Stamford Bridge. Manchester United in the market with Ederson.
Yeah, trying to get their business done early, which was a hallmark of the last transfer window. £38 million fee agreed with Atalanta. It will be a 4-year contract with a year's option. And just looking at a tweet from Kevin Hatchard, who watches a lot more of Atalanta and European football than I do, he thinks he's going to be well suited to the Premier League, hard-working, good runner, decent on the ball. It's got to be an upgrade on Manuel Ugarte, hasn't he? That was a disastrous signing.
It was, really was. Crookie, and on to other serious matters. Your predictions where England and Scotland, how they'll do at the World Cup, mate?
Well, do you know what, Ali? I've been writing a betting column this morning. I've taken 2-1 on Scotland to go out in the group stage.
Wow.
I'm just not convinced, even if they beat Haiti, that they're going to score enough goals to get one of those third places. It could come down to goal difference, and Morocco are a really dangerous side. And this Brazil, who knows? I'm not overly enamoured, but they've got Carlo Ancelotti in the dugout, who's an absolute genius. And for England...
You'll have them winning it. What minute did it get the winning goal, England?
I think quarterfinals. Quarterfinals would be a good achievement. In the heat. Do you know my big concern with England? They've got too many players for me who just look a little bit undercooked. Look at Bukayo Saka in that Champions League final at the weekend. I thought he looked absolutely knackered. Declan Rice has played an awful lot of football as well. And in that humidity, in that heat, I think the fact the Premier League has been so competitive this season might just find us out.
Crookie, thanks very much.
Good to see you, mate. All the best.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, pal.
Text is Scotland get a result against Brazil, give your head a wobble, Jeff. Think of the playing conditions. The game is in Miami. It'll be about mid-30 degrees. Exactly. It's like that in Glasgow all the time. Seriously. I got a message from Jonesy on X here. He says, as a huge, normally glass-half-full England fan, I actually think we'll flop. Our defence isn't great. Plus, when Tuchel had the chance to pick a squad of Gazzers, he's chosen a squad of Phil Nevilles.
That's a bit strong.
A bit strong, Jonesy, but I do take your point. Thank you very much indeed. Coming up, Scottish rock band Ali's biggest fans, Biffy Clyro, are with us next.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country. but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the side.
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters, but it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the taxman at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something, because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling, Ali McCoist and Arnold Clark, who are celebrating a massive summer of football. Buy a used car in June and you'll be entered into their weekly draw to win the cost of it back. Just seen Jim White standing outside getting his photograph taken in a Scotland jersey, Coisty.
And what's your point?
If you're relying on White. I mean, he looks like Richarlison 20 years on with that white hair. Actually, probably about a similar standard, I think.
I've got to say, much as I love Jim, the thought of him on a Scotland top and representing our nation would concern me and millions of Scots.
Yeah. I know you're lacking goals a bit, but
that's stretching it.
That is desperation.
That is stretching it, mate.
We heard from Crookie. Manchester United have just agreed a £35 million deal with the Italian side Atalanta for Brazil midfielder Ederson. He's 26. He'll sign a 4-year deal at United, the option to extend it by a further 12 months. Here's European football expert Kev Hatchard with more on what Ederson will bring to Man United.
Ederson was instrumental as Atalanta upset the odds by winning the Europa League in 2024, and he shone at Anfield as La Dea knocked out Liverpool. He's a hard-working, hard-running, versatile midfielder with bundles of energy. There's no reason he can't deal with the physicality of the Premier League, although injuries have slowed him down this season in what's been an inconsistent campaign. He's not one to rattle in a glut of goals or come up with the tricks and flicks, but he's technically sound and he's a player United have been linked with for years. His former boss, Gianpiero Gasparini, says he was unfortunate not to have made Brazil's World Cup squad.
Gianpiero Gasparini, it's a great name. I always think brilliant chain smoker.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just that name brings it to mind, doesn't it? But look, you signed Edison. They've got Kobe Mainoo. Do they need Elliot Anderson?
Oh, yes. I think, that's the one I think. I know there's talk I'm going to City. I think if they could get Elliot Anderson, I think that would be a...
Do you think the fact that they signed Edison means actually they've probably given up the ghost on Elliot Anderson?
That's what I do think, to be honest. I think maybe that ship sailed.
Yeah.
Time will tell, but I think Anderson's been terrific, hasn't he? The fact that we are now talking in the terms of him being a starter without doubt in the England side would tell you how well he's doing.
Yeah. I think he's a certain starter, isn't he? Or near certain starter. Okay, let's turn attention back to the World Cup. England's training camp in Miami is underway. Faye Carruthers and Henry Winter are there for talkSPORT.
Thanks, Jeff. Welcome to West Palm Beach, about an hour and a half north of Miami. I know that the pair of you are going to be so jealous of what me and Henry Winter have been having the last couple of days. It's gorgeous weather out here, bit too hot, I have to say, but there is aircon involved. But this is where the England team are training for the next 10 days ahead of the Florida series. We've watched them train. It's very sweaty out there, Henry.
But this is what I imagine Ali's garden to be like. Lots of really classy cars, beautiful lawn, bit of a golf course, pickleball, nice bar and reception in that lovely house over there. So, home from home for Ali, this would be.
Well, we need an invite in that case, if that's what it's like, because it is fantastic. And this is where the players are going to be ahead of the Florida series. They have Costa Rica as their final game before they head off to Kansas. They play New Zealand first and foremost, and that's what they're building up to. Well, Henry, we'll be talking to you a lot over the next few days. I think we need some aircon.
Definitely.
See you later. Thanks, guys.
Pickleball?
That's if you can't. I mean, have you seen pickleball?
No.
It's actually not bad. It really is. It's okay. I mean, it's the next thing, isn't it? It's the next thing. Yeah. I mean, paddle, pickleball. The people like me that can't run about tennis courts anymore.
It's the next thing that never arrives, isn't it? You hear about them all the time. Look. As well as talking Henry Winter, Faye also caught up with the Villa striker Ollie Watkins on what his role will be in the States this summer.
No, I think he hasn't spoke to me individually, but I know my game is different to all the other strikers. I think we're all completely different, and I know what I bring to the team. So he doesn't need to tell me what I bring to the team. I know that deep down, and I think everyone's seen that come the back end of the season, what I'm capable of doing.
How many chances do you think you'll get? I mean, opportunities to play, I mean.
Well, I do. Like I mentioned to you before, I know what you're saying, the importance of getting out of the group, and Harry Kane will be obvious starter, and he will be. But I just think, I do think he certainly he'll get more game time than he did at the last tournament, I would think. Ivan Toney's the one I probably, surprised a lot of people, myself included. You take a look at him into the squad, takes great penalties and things like that, and has scored a lot of goals abroad. But I think Ollie Watkins, a lot of people think Ollie Watkins would be the natural successor, if you like, to Harry Kane if there's an injury or he comes off. And I think that'll be the case. And I can, due to the temperature, which we've obviously spoken about at great length, I do see Thomas Tuchel changing his team. When I say change his team, certainly personnel at the start of games and during games as often as possible. And for that reason, I think Watkins will get more game time.
Yeah.
And I think he's earned it too.
Oh, yeah, he definitely has. Yeah,
outstanding towards the end of the season.
It's a relief that he's run into form at the end of the season in England.
I've got to say, the performances, I thought him and Morgan Rogers towards the end of the season, I thought the two performances actually in the second leg against Forest were outstanding in the final as well.
Yeah. Greeno's been back on. I'll tell you what, Greeno, you should join the production team here at talkSPORT because, you've got better ideas and you're more productive, well, certainly than producer Ollie anyway. I mean, because this is an issue. He says, it's a little Wednesday rant from me, Jeff. He says, I remember when I was young doing sticker books for the World Cup. We always used to do them, Panini stickers they were then. I don't think they are anymore.
I can go back.
On the Euros.
I can go back to the Esso coins.
Whoa.
1970.
But Greeno says, my daughter's just started to collect them. The album was $9.99. Pack of the stickers only has 7 in it, and they're £1.50. What does the world come to? And the cost of actually buying and filling these sticker books.
I'm with you, Greeno.
Hundreds of pounds.
I'm with you. And you know something? It's hard to get different areas. Probably get different stickers. Someone, see if you're looking for 2 or 3. What they should do, Greeno, is quite simple, and there's no excuse for it now. The kids should get online and swap.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
I'm sure there are a lot of swaps. Can you imagine his daughter's disappointment if she bought a pack of 7 and they were all Scottish players? So I'm only joking, guys.
I'll sort him out, guys. Don't worry.
Brilliant. By the way, Ryan's text said Man United signing Fred Mark II, and people think they can challenge Arsenal. Hilarious.
I know.
It's probably a bit harsh.
I tell you what, Crookie did say. Garty was a disappointment, though, wasn't he?
Oh, it was awful.
A massive disappointment. And it was amazing because towards the end of the season, last day, second half of the season, Casemiro, look at him early on. You think to yourself, dear me, it just looks as though age has caught up in him, which happens to everybody. But then it's as if he got another lease of life towards the end of the season. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see that the recruitment has been vastly improved in recent period, whether it's 18 months, 2 years, from the goalkeeper to Cunha and Buemo, Šeško, but it has to continue for them to improve.
Yeah. And I completely agree with you about Casemiro. Actually, I just wonder how much they'll miss him. Because he became, having been a bit of a figure of fun in certain circles, he became, such an important
key figure
to them, such a key figure. And he had Jamie Carragher apologising, doing it all intents and purposes, didn't he, in the end? So, still think United will have a good season, though, next season. I really do. Don't forget, we're giving you the chance to win a trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, courtesy of Adidas. I should enter this. You and a mate could be in New York on June 27, seeing England against Panama live. We've got your flights, hotels, spending money, match tickets, and the official Trianda match ball all covered. Head to talksportwin.com to enter. And for full teas and...
I was going to enter myself, actually, but I don't need to.
This is TalkSport Breakfast with Jeff Stelling. I wouldn't have to share a room with you. I don't want to do that. It's with me, Jeff Stelling, and Ali McCoist.
Didn't mean to offend, did not mean to upset. Too many people that I've upset to name. I mean, social media is an absolute wash with it. So, it was only a little bit of fun. All right, that was all it was.
It's people's lives here.
I know, but they're football fans, right?
They're football fans, yeah. But the way you done it, I thought was totally
No, Gabby, I got the tone. Me and Gabby, I spoke to Gabby earlier.
It was crazy. It was too much.
No. Listen, we got it wrong.
Targeted abuse. Targeted.
You make mistakes and you move on and you learn from it. All right.
But you wouldn't let off. You had your foot on their neck.
No, I understand that particular. I've been there. I know what it's like.
And
look. Okay, so I thought at the top of the show, the only right thing to do was to apologise and say sorry.
Yes.
To absolutely nobody. The double Champions League winners, Chelsea, can say what we want. Right, get your big boy pants on, you gooners. I've heard you whinging and cringing. Oh, he wore a top to work I didn't like. Oh, he celebrated a goal against our team. You lot moaning like 6 months old with nappy rash. Absolutely.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, 9:48 on Wednesday, June the 3rd. Just 12 minutes or so since Ali McCoist and everybody else here at talkSPORT jet off to the States for the World Cup.
Are you coming now?
No.
Oh, I thought you should. No, thank you.
Somebody's got to hold the fort.
That's very true.
Somebody's got to act as security here.
That's very true.
Do the cleaning.
Yep.
Present the occasional programme. So that's me. Important job.
I think you'll be perfect for the role of unsung hero.
Well, certainly the unsung bit, anyway. Headlines this morning. Liverpool reached a verbal agreement with Andoni Iraola to make him their new head coach. Kieran McKenna is reportedly interested in the job. Fulham Thomas Frank is another who is under consideration. And we've been
both good candidates.
Oh, really, really good candidates. But, you know, time of managerial change for me is always a dangerous time. How often do sides get it wrong? You know, I mean, Tottenham are a classic example of that. I'm not
perfect example
Thomas
of it.
Frank.
Yeah.
You know, it's time after time after time again. It's a tough call.
No, you're right. You're right to mention Tottenham. Absolutely perfect example of it. Looks like they might, still very, very early days, but they might just have got it right now, though.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's, I mean, De Zerbi, you can't fault what he's done so far. So, Kieran McKenna, Thomas Frank, there'll be other candidates as well. Liam Rossinho has been mentioned in dispatches too. And, of course, we've been discussing Jordan Henderson all morning and what kind of role he'll have at this World Cup. He spoke to talkSPORT yesterday.
Be myself, really, regardless of, you know, whether I'm playing games or I'm not, whatever it is, just come and be myself, and that's all I've ever tried to do. Help the players around us as much as possible, but also be ready to perform. First and foremost, that's the main thing, to be ready myself. And then, yeah, just like I say, enjoy it, but making sure that we're giving absolutely everything to make everybody back home very proud.
Yeah, Jordan Henderson with that England squad who've flown out to Florida. Tom, the Arsenal fan, thank you, Tom. I've got your text regarding angry women. I dare not read it out, or there will be lots of angry women.
You mean more than there are at the moment, according to the report?
Scott in Worcester says, Jeff is the talkSPORT equivalent of Dad's army staying at home to hold the fort.
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. In fact, from now on, I'm just going to call you Godfrey.
Yeah. Don't panic. All right, delighted to say now we are joined by two members of this famous Scottish rock band.
You are creating all the bubbles at night. I'm chasing around and trying to pop them all the time. Ourselves tonight. We're always running scared but holding eyes. But there's a black chandelier. When we collide, we come together.
Yeah, the dulcet tones of Biffy Clyro back on the road this summer after the release of their 10th studio album. Their 2026 tour spans Europe. It includes a headline performance at Finsbury Park in July, and I'm delighted to say that Simon Neil and Ben Johnston join us now. Morning, fellas.
Morning, lads. How are we?
Great. How are you boys doing?
Listen, brilliant. Listen, I've just got to pay you the biggest accolade ever. I looked over and Mr. Sterling was tapping his foot to the music there, boys. But how about that?
Never.
Hey, I'm
Never.
telling you, mate. He was tapping his foot.
There must be magic in them there hills.
Yeah, it was cramp. It was cramp, boys. That was all.
Listen,
How you
boys.
guys doing?
Oh, we're brilliant. Brilliant. And thanks so much. Such a thrill to see you, and thanks for coming on. Got to ask you, right? We're talking about you boys, obviously, and looking forward to speaking to you. And it came up how long you'd been together. Yeah. And I went, nah, that's just a mistake. It has to be a mistake. And then I thought back, and I think the first time I met you was around about 98 or 99.
It will have been. In fact, Ali, I don't know if you won't remember, but you came to our school back in like the early 90s, and that was the very first time. I've still got my picture of it with you from back in the day, which was like 91. But yeah, you've been a big part of our lives, Ali, for years and years. And I hope you're going to be, I don't know if you're around for our Edinburgh show in the summer, but if you're...
It's end of August, isn't it? Am I right?
It is, aye.
I will definitely be coming along to see. I can guarantee you that, boys. Now that's what I was going to ask you. I know you're busy with festivals and tours and things like that. Will you get an opportunity? I'm guessing you've got an opportunity to see Scotland, the World Cup.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure we'll stay up late and watch the Haiti game. I think we're all together for that one, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. First one's a biggie, isn't it? That's going to kind of tell us how the tourney's going to go. But yeah, I think everyone in Scotland is pausing their lives for that 10 days or whatever. It's just such a big moment, and you know we deserve it. It's been so long, and just the fact of being part of the biggest tournament in the world just means so much. So yeah, we will not miss it.
Yeah, you only need 3 nights free, boys. That's all.
Yeah, it'll be more of a samba dance party in the Miami game. I think we might not watch much of the football there.
I mean, seriously, with all your experience, lads, I mean, what are you doing arranging a tour when the World Cup's on?
To be fair, we weren't sure we were going to qualify when we booked these shows. We wouldn't have been very busy over the last 25 years if we'd kept putting a pin in it in case we qualified. But no, honestly, Jeff, it's Ali will have told you, you'll feel it from all the Scottish folk you're talking to. It really, we've missed it so much. We belong at these tournaments, and the Euros has been a nice wee kind of taster, but the World Cup's where it's at. So yeah, it's we'll definitely be watching every minute, and we're really proud of the boys.
Aren't we just? It's just fantastic to look forward to. Listen, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. The first one is this. I mean, we mentioned we go all the way back. I mean, late 90s, whatever it may be. I mean, can you believe you are where you are at this moment in time? I mean, could you have dreamed it? Could you have forecast the success and the albums and all that kind of stuff, the tours? Can you believe it?
Absolutely not. I mean, we still see ourselves as a fairly weird little band.
Yeah.
And the fact that we even get played on daytime radio blows our minds. So yeah, to find this level of success was nothing we ever expected at all.
It's that kind of Scottish perspective, that way you don't expect too much. We've got fairly low expectations and ambitions, so we've just been kind of happy to be on this journey, and every few years something cool happens again. So yeah, we're loving it. We don't take it for granted, and but we're very lucky to be here.
Well, it's a brilliant one. That was going to be my next question. You've perfectly described. You describe yourself as a weird little band, right? In your own words. However, and I don't believe everything you read, particularly on your phones and Instagram and all that stuff. I look up the genre. It says alternative rock, post-hardcore, pop rock, art rock, post-grunge. How would you boys describe your music?
We're just a rock band, Ali.
Exactly. That was the answer I'm looking for.
There we go.
We're in the lineage of AC/DC and all that. We're just a noisy rock and roll band. That's where it starts and that's where it ends.
Have you not got sick of each other, all of you? Over 30 years.
I mean, I couldn't wait to get rid of Durante after 10 years, lads.
We're lucky, actually. You know what? I mean, as always, any long-term relationship, you have your ups and downs. But no, we're really, really lucky. We've been pals from when we were 7 years old. Started the band when we were 15. And yeah, it's just the older you get, the luckier you realise to have such long-term relationships. And without the downs, you don't have the ups. So yeah, it's we've shared a life together, and we cannot complain. It's been magic.
Simon, big Rangers fan. What about next season?
High hopes, Jeff. I think I have to say, I really felt for Hearts last season. I don't want to get into it again. I know you guys have discussed it at length, but really heartbroken for them. I'm delighted we've got Shankland. I think Rowe's doing a great job. He's kind of building a team spirit again and just starting again. And I think it's necessary. We've needed a wee rebuild, and after the Russell Martin debacle, I'm just pleased we're back on track.
And also Neil McCann, great wee job at Kelly.
Oh yeah,
he's doing brilliant. He's got the dressing room on his side, and obviously some great loans. With wee Curtis coming in, he's been fantastic. He's going to be great for Scotland, by the way.
Absolutely.
So Stevie Clark, get him played, please.
Yeah, he scored his first goal at the weekend for Scotland, which was brilliant.
Amazing.
Listen, lads. Continued success to you. I'll definitely see you in August, if not before.
You bet, Ali.
And thanks so much for coming on. Brilliant to see you, boys. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks very much indeed, lads. Have
Appreciate
a great
your
tour.
time, gents. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Magic.
Yeah, brilliant. And Andrew's just texted us, Ali, I've got a spare ticket for the Edinburgh show. Not sure if you want it, you'll be in amongst the peasants. You are a man of the people.
I'm a man of the
know
people.
that.
Come on, yes. But no, I don't want to get... No,
yeah, when you fly into the States, you flying economy?
Do you know
man of the people, are you flying economy?
I think this man of the people's turning left on the I'm generally speaking a man of the people. I'm a man of the people unless I go on an aeroplane.
Brilliant. I didn't realise, actually. It's not your last show. You're back tomorrow morning.
I'm back tomorrow morning.
Brilliant.
Yes, absolutely back tomorrow. But I won't see you.
No.
Well, I'll obviously speak to you, but I won't see you for 3 or 4 weeks now.
4 weeks now, yeah. I'm doing bits and pieces beyond 1 or 2 different shows on talkSPORT.
Good for you. You'll enjoy it, I'm sure.
As well. And of course, I will be on security, and I will be doing the cleaning, and I will be doing the cooking as well. I'm looking forward to it a lot. But brilliant. It's been a fantastic
Great. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'll see you when we get back. We'll speak, obviously, during it.
Yeah, and have a fantastic trip, Coisty, and hope Scotland do you proud.
Thank you very much.
Jim White and Simon Jordan coming next. That's the good news. Piers Morgan will be joining them live. So do with that what you want. Bye-bye.